one collapsed during a workout. 2 weeks later, passed away. The head coach, DJ Durkin, placed on administrative leave. He was reinstated October 30th, but the next day fired. And the Terrapins have lost 3 of their last 4 games. But in talking with Matt Canada, the interim head coach, yesterday, he said our kids have continued to fight, and he expects them to give it their all today on Senior Day. Tyrell Pigram making his first start of the season, 3rd career start, hands it off, and it's a negative play on first down, a loss of 1 for Anthony McFarland.
Yeah, talking to Matt Canada yesterday, he's so impressed with the effort that his players continue to give. Talking to their players, we had a chance to visit with their linebacker, Trey Watson. They're just playing for each other. They're playing for the guy next to him, and their effort should be applauded. They really have held together under very difficult circumstances and are on the cusp of reaching the postseason yet again.
And a big hole off the left side for McFarland past the 40-yard line. They're not going to catch him. It's an 81-yard touchdown. Urban Meyer in shock as his defense gives up an 81-yard run to Anthony McFarland, who rushed for 210 last week. What a start for the Terps in their final home game of 2018, as Meyer is still irate.
Maryland's offense is really challenging because they force you to go sideline to sideline. You see Greg Schiano talking to Damon Arnett. Look at Arnett right here. He's the force player. He's got to stay outside the widest. He follows that motion, loses contain, and as a result, McFarland is out the gate. This offense is so challenging to defend because they get you looking sideline to sideline. And then they hit you with a dynamic back in Anthony McFarland, who is coming off of one of his best performances of his career. And Urban Meyer not thrilled with the start by his defense.
Well, Greg, I'll tell you, when I talked with Urban prior to the game, he made it a point that it wasn't just about a difficult scheme to defend, it was the players that are employed in the scheme. Anthony McFarland, a former Under Armour All-American, had his opportunity a week ago. A huge game, a speedster. Ohio State on their heels here in the early going.
Meyer's going on about a minute of still being upset, as that's a perfectly placed kickoff recovered by Maryland. The Terrapins are going to have it at the 21-yard line. Dante Demas is down there, a beautiful kick and recovery. Well, Matt Canada was right when he told us yesterday they'd be ready to ball today.
What a start. I mean, Demas going down, securing it clearly before he goes out of bounds. Wow.
Clearly in bounds, first down on the 21-yard line. This is going to be a throwback, but the ball's on the ground, and Ohio State has it. They were trying to throw it back to the quarterback. Malik Harrison recovers the fumble. It was Jones, Jay-Sean Jones, that was going to throw it back to the quarterback, but he dropped the ball.
Trying to evade. Ohio State covered it perfectly on the throwback. Jay-Sean Jones has to know, hey, if nothing's there, you got to throw it away. He instead tries to improvise, puts the ball on the ground, and Ohio State's defense has life after a critical error by Maryland.
J.K. Dobbins runs on first down for the Buckeyes and picks up about 3 yards. Isaiah Davis on the tackle. Man, I like the idea of coming out with a trick play, but at that point, if you get tripped up, just don't make things worse by giving it right back to Ohio State when you got a gift on the kickoff. Dobbins again. Squeaks through a hole out to the 36-yard line. So it'll be third down and short. Dwayne Haskins went to the Bullis School, a prep school in Potomac, which is about 20 minutes or so away from the University of Maryland. And he's on pace to break the single-season passing yards record and also passing touchdowns record here at Ohio State. As Dobbins gets the first down and more into Terp territory, they finally catch up to him at the 40-yard line. Darnell Savage gets to him at the 36, but after a 28-yard run by the dangerous Dobbins.
Yeah, nice cutback by J.K. Dobbins following Malcolm Pridgeon. His left guard get a good isolation block down on the inside. He cuts right behind him. There's a big, big green part of grass for Dobbins to hit.
Haskins changing the play. First-year starter. Beat out Joe Burrow, who ended up transferring to LSU. Movement by the Buckeyes.
Before the ball was snapped. False start. Offense number 75. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Even though Haskins is a first-year starter, he burst onto the scene last year in the Michigan game. Came in when J.T. Barrett was shaken up and led a comeback win against the Wolverines.
He reminds me of Ben Roethlisberger. Sneaky athleticism and a great arm.
Another run play, Dobbins, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage. 25 friends and family members, Dwayne Sr. and Tamara, Dwayne's parents, among those in attendance here.
Great family, guys. Had a chance to get to know them throughout the recruiting process. What a support structure for this young man.
And Haskins keeps it here. He doesn't run the ball a ton, but he picks up 9 yards there. Haskins originally committed here, but when Randy Edsall was fired, he opened up the recruiting process again, and the Buckeyes were able to swoop in and get him.
Now, he hasn't played a lot of football, obviously, but he's impressed a lot of people with the way he's played throughout the course of this season. Some parts of this Ohio State team have been up and down. Not Dwayne Haskins. He's been steady from start to finish.
On third down and a yard, they get the first down easily. Just going straight ahead at that Maryland defense. Dobbins able to move the sticks.
You know what, Greg? I think with Dwayne Haskins, they become so pass happy at times that as good as he's been, the offense has almost been at a detriment to him because he'd had his shoulders so much of the load when they've struggled to run the ball consistently.
Yeah, they just haven't run the ball with the same conviction that they have in years past. Part of that's the scheme. It's changed a little bit with Dwayne Haskins under center as opposed to the quarterback run-centric offense they ran with J.T. Barrett.
Haskins from the pocket facing pressure, gets sacked back at the 28-yard line. Lutz has Rogers with his first sack of the season.
Just working along the right side. He's going to engage there with Demetrius Knox. And Knox just kind of gets pushed back. Not really anywhere for Dwayne Haskins to go. And he gets dragged down behind the line of scrimmage. This offensive line has been very inconsistent for Ohio State. Even when they've given Haskins time, it hasn't been enough time. They're going to need to solidify that today against Maryland and, of course, next week against a very good Michigan front.
DeMario McCall up the middle, and this time he swallowed up. Only a gain of a couple. Jesse Annabonum in there to make the tackle. So it is third down and long for the Buckeyes.
Fellas, we have seen Urban Meyer countless times, and I have never seen an Urban Meyer this animated, this early in any football game that I've ever seen him coach.
I'm with you. I haven't seen this kind of emotion this early. You could understand it, though, the way they started. Haskins underneath. Not going to get the first down. McLaurin on the catch, but fourth down and 4. The Buckeye offensive players are saying, let's go for it, but Urban sends on the kicking team.
Fellas, the wind's been an issue. It's been a lateral side-to-side wind going back to early this morning, and I was talking to both kickers for both teams. They said they'd prefer to have the side-to-side as opposed to the wind in their face because they feel like they can cut the ball a little lower, see if they can control the side-to-side movement of that ball.
Blake Haubeil, who replaced the injured Sean Nurnberger a couple games ago, is the field goal kicker, and he gets Ohio State on the board with a 36-yarder. 7-3 Maryland early on. Welcome back to College Park, Maryland. Urban Meyer upset about what happened defensively, giving up an 81-yard touchdown run earlier. A report this week by Watch Stadium's Brett McMurphy included allegations that fired coach Zach Smith directed a racial slur at former Buckeye and current Florida Gator Trayvon Grimes during an altercation, and that head coach Urban Meyer covered it up. The university, Meyer, and several current players vehemently deny those allegations this week. Ohio State got a field goal after the turnover by Jayshon Jones. So it's 7-3 Terps. Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, Tom Luginbill. Haubeil will kick it away here from the 35. Here's Leak, and he signaled for a fair catch. It'll come out to the 25-yard line. University decided to make a statement after the report, saying they unequivocally and vehemently dispute the unfounded allegations of Brett McMurphy. Any allegations of racism are outrageous and false. The university told McMurphy, we found no evidence to support the allegations, that the reporting is irresponsible, inflammatory, and a severe invasion of privacy and a baseless personal attack on Coach Meyer. Spoke with Coach Meyer this week. He was furious about the accusation directed at him, said he's just trying to focus on getting his team ready to play this game.
Greg, I don't know about you, but I think the players were the difference this week for Ohio State.
Yeah.
The players stepping up and publicly admonishing those reports are what made the difference. It turned it into an hour-long story.
Right, players that were there when it
Yes,
happened.
correct.
Absolutely. I mean, as a player, that would divide the locker room in a heartbeat. And to see them come out that adamantly and deny those allegations was very big in favor of their support for Urban Meyer.
There's McFarland, try to run left again, and he breaks a tackle. He might be gone again. Past midfield. They're not going to catch him. It happens twice in 6 minutes. Touchdown. 75 yards. Oh my goodness. What is going on defensively with Ohio State? It is 14-3 Maryland. 2 huge run plays.
Ohio State has been rotating guys at safety all year. They opt to start Brandon White because he's the most sure tackler in the back end. Not so much right there. Anthony McFarland gets loose again, and the Terps extend their lead to 11.
College football on ABC is presented by Jared. Dare to be devoted. And in part by the Ford F-Series. Built Ford tough. Built Ford proud.
Senior day here at Maryland. Trey Watson, a graduate transfer who did his undergrad at Illinois. He's become one of the leaders of this team, and we sat with him for a good 15 minutes yesterday, and man, was he impressive. He answered every question about handling the emotions of losing a teammate unexpectedly, and then also the firing of their head coach. A pooch kick, can they recover another one? Instead, it's fielded at the 30-yard line by McCall, and Ohio State will have decent field position at the 38.
I want to go back to the touchdown by Anthony McFarland. Talking to Greg Schiano, he talked about how his really his defenders at the second and third level had to be really good in one-on-one tackling, because Matt Canada's offense is going to force you to make tackles in the open field. Brendan White at safety has been one of their better tacklers in the third level. Right there, he comes up unblocked and misses the tackle on McFarland, and McFarland is off to the races. Ohio State needs to get their poise on defense.
Haskins to throw. It's complete out to the 44. Think about what the running back for Maryland, Anthony McFarland, did last week. He had 210 yards. That's the most ever by a Maryland freshman. He's already at $155 in 6 minutes here today. Gain of 7 on first down for Ohio State. Keep it on the ground. Don't get the first down as Dobbins was stood up by Watson. The middle linebacker leads the Big Ten in tackles.
And you can tell that this Ohio State offense is really trying to impose their will with the ground attack. So far, only 2 passes for Dwayne Haskins, one of which was on a 3rd and long. So really trying to emphasize the run game between the tackles.
And there's movement all over the place. The ball's on the ground. You saw before the snap, the quarterback, Haskins, and the running back both move forward. Michael Jordan, a first-year starter at center. He had been at left guard the last 2 years.
Before the ball was snapped, false start, offense, everyone but the center. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Okay, let's circle exactly who got this. All right, Beck, those guys got it. Those guys got it. Don't forget Knox. Yep, the quarterback. That's who jumped off sides right there. And a critical spot on the field. 3rd and short now becomes 3rd and long because of the false start by Ohio State.
Malcolm Pridgeon didn't move, so the officials got it wrong. 9 of the 11 moved. Pridgeon, the left guard in the center, they were standing still. 3rd and 7 now for the Buckeye. Haskins has to step away from pressure, has a running lane, and gets the first down in the Maryland territory. Urban Meyer told us that at some point Dwayne Haskins is going to have to become a more dangerous runner. He's made a couple of big plays on the ground today.
Man, I don't know. Look at the right tackle here, Isaiah Prince. He didn't early start. Yeah, yes. He does. Yeah. I mean, he's out of his stance a little quick.
And the fans saw it too.
And I'm surprised the officials didn't whistle that dead and have another false start on the Buckeyes.
Instead, it's a gain of 15 and a first down in Maryland territory. Haskins back to pass. Zips it to Dixon inside the 40-yard line. A fist fight on the sideline and shoved out at the 36. A gain of 8 on the play.
These wide receivers for Ohio State have had some ups and downs this year. Paris Campbell's outstanding. So is KJ Hill. With Johnny Dixon and Benjamin Victor, they of course lost Austin Mack a couple weeks ago. Huge blow. You'd love to get a little more consistency from that group when it comes to throws that are going to be made downfield. Michael Thomas and Devin Smith aren't walking through that door. They need those guys to step up down the stretch.
Dobbins taking it wide here, and he's got the corner. Past the 20-yard line, a flag comes down. Dobbins out of bounds at the 15. There was a Maryland defender, Rayvon Davis, on the ground where that flag was thrown, and that usually is a bad sign for the offense.
It's like Johnny Dixon, the guilty party here.
Offense number 1, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 2nd down.
Hey guys, how much do you think, as you look at the replay here, the hold, how much do you think, guys, of the emotion of Urban Meyer here is that they've got Michigan next week, and everybody's looking to that game, and he's worried about his guys getting too focused on that and not on the task at hand?
No, it's a trap game, 100%. On the road, difficult environment against a team that has nothing to lose, making sure the level of urgency for his team is at an all-time high. I'm sure is a huge point of emphasis for Urban Meyer coming into today.
Here's Dobbins off the left edge, got a first down inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line. So it's been all Dobbins so far. Normally Dobbins and Weber split carries. Weber was the 100-yard rusher last week in their win against Michigan State.
And Greg, when you consider the emotion on this Ohio State sideline, the team's going to mirror their coach. If the coach shows an even keel, they're going to settle down. If he gets ramped up after every play like we've seen here in the first quarter, it could be issues.
Dobbins again on 1st and 10. And he moves the pile down to the 29 for 4 yards.
J.K. Dobbins is one of the best backs in football, and so is Weber. I mean, 1-2 punch. Good luck finding very many that are better than those two. They complement each other so well, but Dobbins obviously getting a lion's share of the work here early, but even his stats have been down considerably from where he was a year ago. He averaged over 7.5 yards a carry this year in the mid-fours, so it just hasn't been as consistent running the football. Part of that is the transition to more of a pass-happy offense.
You think about how different Haskins is than J.T. Barrett. Here's Dobbins running the ball, and he'll get to the 25, so it'll be 3rd down and short. But J.T. Barrett, there was so much of the quarterback run game as we've got an injured player, and that's what Urban Meyer is used to. The exceptions are Alex Smith, Taylor Munford, the left tackle, shaken up. Alex Smith and Cardale Jones. Haskins is more in the mold of those two players. We get a timeout with Munford being tended to. Thayer Munford, sophomore left tackle from Cincinnati, shaken up on the previous play, so Joshua Alabi will come in and replace him.
Let's take a look at what happened. You're going to see here, and you're going to see Antoine Brooks try to make the tackle and kind of get thrown around with the momentum of Dobbins into the right leg of Munford, so hopefully he'll be okay. And in comes Tate Martell, the Wildcat quarterback for the Buckeyes.
Short yardage, 3rd down and 2. Martell will keep it, and he will not get the first down. Anna Bonham grabs him at the 24-yard line. 4th down and a yard. And Dwayne Haskins coming back in the game here as Ohio State will go for it.
Run the ball with a lot of consistency. I'm a little surprised that they would go to the Martell package right there when they have a significant size advantage. Most of the time, Dobbins has been falling forward, so surprised to go with a little different look on 3rd and short.
Dobbins tackled short. Trey Watson there defensively. Maryland ball.
Man, this is such a great play by Adam McClain for Maryland, number 91. He actually goes low underneath Michael Jordan, the center, and watch him just completely bust momentum that Dobbins is trying to create. I mean, look at that. I mean, he just lays down and allows the players around him to bring Dobbins to the ground. It's a great play by the Maryland defense.
Terrapins take over on their 24-yard line with an 11-point lead. Will they run left again? It's worked twice for touchdowns. They try to run it right, and Tough Borland's in the backfield, taking down McFarland for a loss. Borland, a captain, one of 7 sophomores in all of college football that are team captains. Anthony McFarland, a redshirt freshman. He went to DeMatha Catholic, missed his senior year of high school with an injury, and then redshirted last year, so he's got fresh legs. And look at the numbers today, averaging about 38 yards a carry.
That's pretty good. Up until that last one, it was closer to 60. So he has been off the charts so far today for the Terps.
Pigram going downtown. On the money. Caught inside the 30-yard line by Dante Demas. That's the backup quarterback, folks, making that toss. 53 yards.
What a throw by Tyrell Pigram. Just the post route over the top. And Jeffrey Okuda's not able to get over the top on the post. I mean, Pigram just letting it fly. Known more for his athleticism than he is for his accuracy, but that one was on the money in the passing game.
Remember, they turned it over in the red zone once in this game as well, as Pigram just throws it away because Chase Young was in the backfield. But you think about it, they're up 14-3, and they blew another opportunity when they had it down here after recovering a kickoff, but turned it over on the next play.
You know what, guys? We talk about Anthony McFarland as a redshirt freshman, but Deontay Demas, just a true freshman. Deshaun Jones, another true freshman. Their targets, their perimeter athletes here at Maryland in the next couple of years are going to be really, really good.
Yeah, no doubt. Whoever is the head coach next year is going to inherit some really good young talent, Tom. 2nd and 10 on the 22. Pigram going to keep it here. And he's inside the 20 and spilled at the 18-yard line by Okudah and Harrison. 3rd down coming up. Maryland in the red zone, because that turnover actually occurred at the 21 earlier, so they weren't officially in the red zone. Doesn't count. They're perfect. 16 touchdowns, 8 field goals, 24-24.
Well, not many teams can say they're perfect in this part of the field. That's a credit to their kicker, who is perfect, knock on wood, of course, but you'd love to see that touchdown percentage go up. 16 out of 24, not as high as you'd like. You'd like to hover around 75 or 80% touchdown in the red zone.
Pigram will throw on 3rd down and 7, floating it into the end zone, and he overthrows a wide-open receiver, Jones. The defender slipped, and Jones had an easy touchdown catch, and the pass just thrown out of bounds.
Just one-on-one. A little bit of contact there at the line of scrimmage, but this is one that Pigram, this will just haunt you if you're a quarterback. Throwing out of bounds, not giving your guy a chance when he's wide open in the end zone. Those are the ones that you never forget.
When the corner gets trucked, Kendall Sheffield, by the receiver. Here's Petrino. He's been perfect on the year. Maryland stays perfect in the red zone. 17-3 Terrapins.
Maryland's offense has thrived today on some big plays. How about this? In the second play of the game, Anthony McFarland finds a lot of space around the left side and is off to the races. Then just a couple plays later, there he goes again, making Brendan White miss at the 3rd level. And he's out the gate yet again. And how about Pigram saying, hey, don't let the running backs have all the fun. I'll throw it around a little myself. He throws an absolute dime to Deontay Demas on the post, who's becoming their go-to wide receiver. It's been an outstanding start for Maryland so far in this football game.
This feels like Purdue. This feels like Iowa last year. But a lot of time left. How does Ohio State turn it around?
Just keep trying to put together positive yardage on the offensive side of the football and hope that your defense is going to find an answer. That's really what it comes down to. Can't allow big plays. Force Maryland to snap the ball. That's the biggest thing for Ohio State's defense moving forward.
Buckeyes, since that loss to Purdue 49-20, have won 2 in a row, as down to the 12-yard line is Dixon. Another great kickoff. Here's Matt Berry in the studio.
Let's take a look at a performance brought to you by Jersey Mike Subs. Northwestern down 3 of 4 secondary starters today against Minnesota. Forced a turnover, got good field position. Isaiah Bowser, a 2-yard touchdown run. Up early, Northwestern, Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy.
Hey, buddy, and yeah, Northwestern is in the Big Ten championship game. They'll play either Michigan or Ohio State. How about the job by Maryland on special teams? Last week it was Ohio State. They kept pinning Michigan State inside the 10 with punts, but Maryland with these kickoffs forced a turnover and now pinned the Buckeyes inside their 15 and stoppage
Before the
here.
ball was snapped, delay a game.
Wow.
Offense, number 7, 5-yard penalty. Remains 1st down.
I mean, this stuff here that's happening, false starts, and now a delay a game after a kickoff.
How can that happen, guys? I don't know what the communication is.
Used its first charge timeout of the half.
So it looks like they're going to give Urban Meyer the timeout prior to the delay a game.
Still, I mean, you can kind of see now why Urban Meyer was so animated in the first couple minutes of this football game, trying to make sure the level of urgency for this Ohio State team is rivaling that of what he was trying to display. So they have not come out of the gate strong on either side of the football so far.
You get the sense in talking to the Ohio State coaches this week that they're confident in their players, but they also gave a lot of respect to Maryland when we talk with them. And you can see why. I mean, Anthony McFarland, he outran a lot of guys that will get drafted I mean, outran them good in those 2 long touchdown runs.
Yeah, they have actually a lot of speed on both sides of the football. If you look at Maryland, they're not overly large in the trenches, but they're dynamic at running back and a few spots at wide receiver.
Here's Dobbins up the middle again. Out to the 20 for about 8 yards.
In Ohio State, this offense that Maryland runs is actually a little bit similar to Purdue. The way they use some jet sweeps and they get you going laterally and then they hit you down the middle.
Haskins off play action, slings it to the tight end Farrell, and it's a first down to the 25. Ohio State at number 10 in the latest college football playoff ranking. 9-1 record, 6-1. Remember last year when they got left out, we talked about that Iowa loss. They had 2 losses on the year because they lost at home to Oklahoma. You'd have to think that if the Buckeyes come back and win this game and win out, that unless something crazy happens, they're going to be in the college football playoff as the Big Ten champ. Haskins able to get positive yardage and avoid the sack as Tanyi brings him down.
No, Greg, one of the things you look at with this Ohio State offense, and in order to come back from a 17-3 deficit, Dave, you got to create some separation with your weapons on the perimeter. If Ohio State's going to throw it, their guys got to get open. And in recent weeks, they have not gotten open.
Haskins keeps it. And again, this was a point of emphasis and has been to try to get Haskins to run the ball. He gets the first down. What do you guys think of Ohio State if they win this game and win out? Are they automatically in, or does it depend on what happens between Georgia and Alabama and some of the other, the Big 12 championship game as well?
It's not automatic, but I'd be surprised if they were left out. Big win against Michigan, obviously. Chance to beat a ranked Northwestern team more than likely in the Big Ten championship. Knowing how well respected the Big Ten is from top to bottom, I'd be really surprised if a one-loss Big Ten champion were at home watching the playoffs as they were going on.
Dobbins powers ahead, but he stood up for a gain of 3.
And Tom, if you look at Ohio State's weapons, they have as much talent as anybody. You just got to put it together from a consistency standpoint.
Yeah, they really do. They've got to get the ball out, and they've got to get vertical, create some explosive plays.
Going to run another play here as Dobbins trying to get outside. Instead, he's going to lose yardage. Darnell Savage is there to greet him. So it's a loss of 2 on the final play of a miserable first quarter for the road team. But a fantastic opening frame for the Maryland Terrapins on Senior Day, leading 17-3. Back after this message and a word from our ABC stations. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, Allstate will make a contribution to University's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, Allstate. 17-3, all Maryland as we start the second quarter, and a big 3rd and long for Haskins. His pass is almost intercepted by Trey Watson, who has 5 picks already this year, number 2 in the country in that category. So close to getting number 6.
Dwayne Haskins just completely loses track of Trey Watson, who's coming from the right side of the defense, and he falls back underneath that in-breaking route on the left. Got to be aware of where number 33 is. He's very opportunistic when the football's thrown in his direction.
Drew Chrisman was phenomenal last week punting the football for Ohio State. Not a bad kick there. Fair caught at the 22 by Jacobs. This afternoon and tonight, ABC has a pair of important Week 12 games in the Big 12 at 3:30 Eastern. West Virginia at Oklahoma State. And then tonight, team with the longest active win streak in college football, 22 in a row for UCF, taking on Cincinnati. Here was the parade last year to celebrate the, quote, national championship, end quote. And I'm quoting UCF, by the way.
That is true. It's on their stadium. It's real. Hey, credit to them, man. They embraced college football the last few years, and their team has responded. And they got it going down there in Orlando.
It was a great turnout for game day today in Orlando. McFarland, and a tackle made by White. Otherwise, he might be gone again. Gain of 8 on the play for McFarland. Tyrell Pigram, who is starting for the first time this season. Kasim Hill tore his ACL last week. Pigram is from Alabama. He was a Gatorade Player of the Year there back in 2015 in Birmingham. It's his 22nd career game, 3 career starts prior to this year. He himself had a torn ACL a year ago and has fought back from that injury. Going to run McFarland on 2nd and gobbled up by Draymond Jones, an excellent player for Ohio State on the line of scrimmage.
And Tyrell Pigram is a really good athlete. Still developing as a passer, the accuracy and the consistency probably not where he'd like it to be, but he's young. Does have a very good feel, though, for the position. Good runner, can create on his own, and makes the players around him better. It was a really hard-fought competition between him and Kasim Hill in the offseason. Kasim Hill ends up starting for this team, but Pigram certainly had a role, and now thrust back into the starting lineup, trying to take advantage of his opportunity.
Started the opener last year against Texas before he went down with an injury. They rush McFarland, first down, and there he goes again! Past the 40, inside the 30, and finally knocked down a play. Anthony McFarland is wearing out the Ohio State defense here in the first half.
What a job by the left side of this offensive line. I mean, look at that. Just completely walling off any defender that's coming from that side. And McFarland's out the gate again. I mean, at some point, Ohio State's going to have to put more guys in the box defensively, because so far, to this point of the game, Maryland has been very efficient running it when Ohio State doesn't have that many defenders in there.
7 carries, 214 yards for one guy. In just over a quarter. Broken play, Pigram in trouble. Brought down to the 20. He had the backup running back Javon Leak in there. It looked like there was some miscommunication. It's a loss of 3 or 4. Anthony McFarland, the 5th player to rush for 150 yards or more against Ohio State, and he's done it in just over a quarter on this Buckeye defense.
And not to diminish Anthony McFarland, because his speed and quickness, and more importantly his decisiveness, has gotten him through the hole. But when you look at the secondary in the run support fits for Ohio State, Brendan White, number 25, Damon Arnett, they're the 2 boundary players, and that's where the run's going. Their run fits have been poor, and they have not been gap sound.
They're in the red zone, 2nd and 13. Pigram in trouble, gets sacked. Back at the 26 by Tough Borland. Borland's made a couple plays in the first half.
Yeah, nice job here, too. He's just keeping his eyes in the backfield. He's not especially going to blitz, but he sees disappearance. He sees some green space between him and the quarterback, and he triggers on that green dog. Great job by Tough Borland making the play behind the line of scrimmage. It's a sack that you just can't take. You're on the fringe part of the red zone now. You're backed up outside the red zone, making it really challenging on 3rd and long. Got to be cognizant of what your field goal kicker can handle from this point of the field.
Play fake, Pigram steps up, gets sacked again. It was Chase Young who was back there to bring him down. They started at the 17. They're all the way back now to their 32-yard line for 4th down and long.
Chase Young, you can see him. He's right here. And they try to go like a little token play action fake. And Avery Edwards, the tight end, number 82, is not able to get out to get a hand on Young as he's barreling down and makes the play in the backfield.
Young, an Upper Marlboro, Maryland native, went to DeMatha Catholic. Joseph Petrino on for a 49-yard field goal try. Maryland is perfect in the red zone this season. No more. A miss by Petrino, but credit Tough Borland and Chase Young for pushing the Terps out of the range of the true freshman kicker. They lost Nick Bosa early in the season to injury, but they're able to get after the quarterback here, and it ends in an empty possession for the Terrapins. They're still up, though, 17-3. This season, Taco Bell is celebrating student sections of passionate fans like these Maryland Terrapins faithful by awarding the best student section of the year. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see if your team made this week's rankings and to see how your school can compete. Ohio State takes over after the missed field goal, and they're going to take a shot off play action. Receiver wide open. It's McLaurin inside the 25, inside the 10. strike. And those sacks by the Buckeyes were huge. That started the momentum shift as Haskins has set a school record for single-season passing yards. And he's one touchdown pass shy of tying J.T. Barrett for the record for most passing TDs in a season. (17-10) after the extra point. Dwayne Haskins went to high school in Potomac, Maryland, in front of 25 members of his family. McLaurin racing down the field. Haskins hits him in stride, and the Buckeyes are back in the ballgame.
College football presented by Jared on ABC is brought to you by Pacific Life. Experience the power of Pacific. And Mazda. Feel alive.
Joe Germain and J.T. Barrett were two really good college quarterbacks. Dwayne Haskins passed Joe Germain with that touchdown strike to McLaurin, now #1 single-season passing list. And he's one touchdown away from tying J.T. Barrett for the most touchdown passes in a single season. And Haskins, just a redshirt sophomore. One of the best pure passing quarterbacks Urban Meyer's ever had. Another short kickoff. And Leak breaks a tackle at the 30, and he ran out of bounds. But still decent field position at the Maryland 40-yard line. 25-yard return.
Want to go back to that touchdown that Dwayne Haskins just threw. That's his name in the record book. Look at McLaurin and look at Rayvon Davis, the corner. I mean, he just stops running. He gets kind of lost of where he's at on the field, and he loses McLaurin as he goes vertical. It was a good job, too, by Haskins. Hey, don't try to overthrow him. Don't try to lead him. Just make sure that McLaurin catches the football. So he underthrows him a bit, but a great play for this Ohio State offense.
Tayon Fleet Davis is in the game at running back. He's going to get the carry here, and look at him go! Big run there. Let's go to Matt Berry in the studio.
I have your DirecTV more for your college football thing. The Alabama defense had yet to give up a touchdown in the entire month of November until now to the Citadel. Dante Smith, 45-yard touchdown run, tied if tacked on a field goal, 10-7, 5 minutes left in the first half.
And after that score, Nick Saban was probably more upset than he has been all year with his team.
Wow.
Would you agree with that, having played for him?
I think he's probably losing it on the sideline.
Here comes a jet sweep to DJ Turner, and that's well defended by Ohio State. Gain of only 3 on the play.
Just amazing the amount of big plays this Ohio State defense has given up. Not just today. I mean, it's been all year. They've given up big plays, not just on the ground, either through the air. I mean, it's been really a shell of its former self. It was this Ohio State defense. They used to be so stout, so good. They've had so many guys leave to go to the next level, and they just have not been consistent at any point this season.
But then you watch the game last week against Michigan State.
Right.
As McFarland is inside the 40, going to bring up 3rd down and short, and you start thinking, okay, maybe they're going to turn it around. The Bosa loss is huge. They still have a lot of talent. The Bosa loss is huge. And then obviously all the guys in the secondary that, as you mentioned, Greg, have gone on to the next level or have left early had an impact.
Yeah, but the problem, I mean, giving up touchdown runs like this, I mean, Ohio State is as good as anybody when it comes to the defensive line. Yeah, even without Nick Bosa, the defensive line is legit. These linebackers, very inexperienced coming into this year, and they've been really, really up and down as well. So it's the running game that's really surprising to see it working so well against the Buckeyes.
Kick off your Week 11 with Sunday NFL Countdown from Halle Berry to Obama, Big E to Ric Flair, Drew Brees, Dak Prescott, Big Ben. The rest of the quarterbacks explain where some of the game's most creative audibles come from, and also a deeper look into our great Monday Night Football matchup from Los Angeles. It'll be the 9-1 Rams, the 9-1 Chiefs. in just over 48 hours. Third down and 3 for Maryland, leading 17-10. They're going to keep it on the ground with McFarland, and he's going to lose yardage. Draymond Jones and Robert Landers, the two interior defensive linemen for the Buckeyes, got off blocks that time to bring up fourth down.
Yeah, it's a great job up front by Ohio State, but I think you call that play knowing that it's 4-down territory. So right here, if I'm Matt Canada and calling the plays, I want to get Tyrell Pigrome outside the pocket. I want to get him moving, give him a run-pass option. He's a dynamic ball carrier as well here on fourth down.
There's an injured Buckeye. If I'm Matt Canada, I'm punting the ball. Try to pin Ohio State deep. No?
I'm not in favor of that,
okay.
Especially given what Ohio State just did offensively. So I like it. At this point, hey, big underdog at home, senior day, in a good position on the field, and really the only time you've been stopped on offense is when you've stopped yourself. You had a bad play on a little bit of a throwback. They had bad protection on 2 of the last 3 downs on the last drive, so they've stopped themselves a couple times, but Ohio State's defense has not really been up to the task at this point.
You know, regardless of what happens today with Maryland, and Matt Canada deserves a lot of credit for keeping this together and the players continuing to fight hard the way they've come out this game. He told us yesterday when we met with him, from the academic advisors to the assistant coaches to the new members of the training staff they had to bring in for the guys that were let go, they've been able to rally. And Tom made the point at the top of the telecast, if this team's 2-8, nobody notices. But the fact they're 5-5 and still have a chance to get bowl eligible if they can win either today or at Penn State next week, you got to give Canada, who's never been a head coach before, some credit.
You got to give their players a lot of credit too.
Sure.
It would be easy to fracture and splinter, but they've held together. And they've brought a lot of pride to this fan base with the way they've performed on the field this year.
4th and 3. McFarland gets the first down inside the 30. Give it to the guy who's got it done all day. Anthony McFarland on 4th and 3, just running the ball, picks up close to 10 yards.
And this is all about the offensive line. I mean, just look at these reach blocks on the left side. I mean, there's nothing but green grass for McFarland as he works to the edge. It looks like Chase, the way he ran upfield, it looked like he was thinking pass rush and didn't react real quickly to the run underneath, and Urban Meyer is livid with the way his defense has played against the run today.
So fresh set of downs inside the 30. McFarland! Leak. If he broke that tackle, he's gone. Tough Borland with an excellent play to make sure that Leak went to the ground.
Hey, Dave, when you look at what that motion did to Ohio State's defense, and you look at how it split the defense down the middle, and all of the action goes to the field, the boundary, the short side of the field, is where Maryland has had their success. That's the adjustment that has to be made by Ohio State in the locker room at halftime.
If I'm Maryland, I'm just continuing to pound the football. I'm not dropping Tyrell Pigrome back under any circumstance. I'm running it between the tackles with my outstanding backs.
And here's Leak again. Breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage and has another Maryland first down. Now, Canada's known as a really good offensive mind. He hasn't lasted long at a lot of places. 1 year at LSU last year, 1 year at Pitt prior to that. Cup of coffee at Wisconsin, and then 3 years at NC State. But clearly the creativity that you guys both touched on earlier is paying off against this Ohio State defense.
Urban Meyer over here screaming at his team, what are we doing?
First down on the 16. They'll run Leak again. Wow. He won't walk. Have a bite of a sandwich as he hits the goal line. Touchdown, Maryland. They've run the ball for almost 250 yards on Ohio State in a quarter and a half. Great response by Maryland after the big play by Ohio State. They come right back down the field and score and go back up by 14.
This Maryland offense prides themselves on running the football. Doesn't get much easier than that as Leak bursts to the open field off tackle. Matt Canada's loving it on senior day as Urban Meyer looks on in agony. King.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Dave Pasch, Greg McElroy, Tom Luginbill at College Park, where the Ohio State Buckeyes trail 24-10. There have been 3 players this year in FBS to have 2 75-yard rushing touchdowns in a single game. 2 of them happen against Ohio State, and both with us on hand. So I'm sure Buckeye fans are glad we're here. Artavis Pierce for Oregon State, Anthony McFarland today, and then Jordan Cronkite for USF, the other, not against Ohio State. It's a touchback that'll come out to the 25 for the Buckeyes.
Let's take a look at that last touchdown. It's the same play that they scored on at the very beginning. You're going to see motion moving left to right, which triggers rotation for the defense, which means there's nobody home on the left side of the field defensively. Look at all that rotation, and then as a result of that rotation, look at the green grass for Leak to exploit. That was the exact same play that they ran earlier in the game that resulted in an 80-yard touchdown for McFarland. The rushing attack for this Maryland group has been off the charts, but Ohio State defensively very unsound so far.
Haskins to the air, finds KJ Hill out in space, up to the 32. Let's go to Matt Berry.
Gentlemen, we have a fun one over at Fenway Park on ESPN2. Harvard, Yale. This Harvard's Tyler Adams jet sweep, 62-yard touchdown. 14-7 Harvard midway through the second quarter.
And J.K. Dobbins here, Matt, running the ball, getting the first down. It's cool that you have a game at Fenway and Yankee Stadium on the same Saturday. Notre Dame, Syracuse coming up later today from New York. Does Syracuse finally hand Notre Dame its first loss?
Tell you what, Syracuse is 2 plays away from being undefeated. It's remarkable when you think about it. They lose. If they don't give up that 4th and 6 to Clemson, they probably win that game, and they almost beat Pitt.
Haskins going deep for Hill, just over his outstretched arm, incomplete.
Man, you have to wonder. It's breezy on the field. You have to wonder on this throw if wind was involved, because Haskins, as a right-handed player, the ball is naturally going to move from left to right as it spins off your hand. That ball actually moved from right to left, so just knowing that Haskins is a righty, it shouldn't move that way. The wind affected that one.
Dobbins grabbed by Trey Watson. Physical play by Watson. And it'll be 3rd down and long. Trey Watson, grad transfer from Illinois. His dad, Tim, was in the NFL for 5 years. Leading tackler in the Big Ten and one of the top men in the country, regardless of position, in interceptions with 5, including 1 return for a score.
He's got great hands and is really good reading quarterbacks' eyes. Here he is. Let's see what they opt to do with the senior linebacker.
Haskins going for McLaurin deep. Underthrown. Oh, McLaurin still caught it. There's a flag down. Great grab by a sliding McLaurin inside the 25-yard line. It's a 38-yard pass play on 3rd and 9.
Pass interference. Defense number 7. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a first down.
And you saw McLaurin grab the face mask of Tino Ellis there and throw him aside as Ellis ran into McLaurin.
Yeah, that was a heck of a catch. There's a lot of contact by both guys there. Still, I think a good call on the pass interference.
Back to the ground. Dobbins upended at the line of scrimmage by Lewis.
I think you're right about the wind a little bit, Greg. Down here, it's swirling pretty good. And those last 2 deep balls have hung up there a little bit.
And they really have, and it's hard for receivers when it is this breezy to track the football, especially when you're on Ohio State's right side of the field. In that direction, you can be looking back at the quarterback, maybe be affected by the sun too, given where it's at. So it's a tough spot for wide receivers to be in under these circumstances.
Inside 4 minutes to go in the first half. Dobbins running right, slips a tackle. Another one inside the 10, keeps his feet, dives. And they're going to mark him out of bounds actually at the 1-yard line, just inside the 1. It'll be 1st and goal.
See if Dobbins did in fact get in. Oh, he's clearly down, obviously, but great job by him. He's been the feature back today and has responded. Just went over 100 yards already on the ground.
Yeah, we have not seen Weber at all. Weber had 23 carries last week. Urban Meyer told us this week just depends on who has the hot hand. And it's Dobbins right now going up over the top, reaching the ball out. Did not get in. Now they're saying touchdown. The headline's
The ruling
been
on the field is a touchdown.
signaling touchdown. And so the Buckeyes back within a score.
Now, does the ball cross the plane? You can see right there, it's very close. Obviously, there's the plane. And it does appear like he definitely does cross the front.
The ruling on the previous
that
play
line.
was a touchdown. The play is under further review.
It was a great effort by J.K. Dobbins.
But dangerous, right?
Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous to reach the ball across the plane, but he knew where he was at on the field, and he was so vertical that he was higher than everybody else. I don't want to encourage that, but
Especially with as short as he is.
Right, I know. I don't want to encourage him doing that, but if you get the touchdown, by all means, it was the correct decision.
Ball just has to cross the front.
Yeah, you can see it right there.
line.
I mean, there's the line, and the ball right there does appear as though it does break the plane. So a great job responding yet again by this Ohio State offense. Their defense has not come to play so far, but this offense, outside of a play or two here and there.
Well, you are going to have to outscore them to beat them. And they're the #1 scoring team in the Big Ten, 11th in the country. They average 41 points per game. So you got to figure if you're Maryland, you're going to have to hit the 40 mark to have a chance to win.
Well, Ohio State, Greg, they've got to be pleased with their run game at least.
Oh, yeah. They're
After
running the ball
review,
very well.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
And to your guys' point, 137 rushing yards, 141 passing yards. So, we're raving about Maryland's offense, but Ohio State's offense been pretty good. Like Maryland, Ohio State's on pace for 600 yards of total offense, too. And the extra point makes it a 7-point game again late in the first half. Take a look at our unexpected outcome brought to you by ExxonMobil. Not losing at Penn State is unexpected, but the way it happened back in 2016, the blocked field goal to turn into the game-winning touchdown. And then last November, the loss at Iowa, 55-24. And then the game at Purdue this year where the defense gave up nearly 50 points. Ohio State's won 2 in a row since. Tight one with Nebraska, but a great win at Michigan State last week. And if they come back to win this game, they'll have Michigan in Columbus. Urban Meyer has had Jim Harbaugh's number. And then if they're to beat the Wolverines, they'll head to the Big Ten title game to play Northwestern.
They have so much talent. I mean, Ohio State has so much talent. As good as just about anybody in the country outside of maybe Alabama and Clemson. But it's unbelievable just how inconsistent they can be on both sides of the ball at times.
They kick it in the field of play again here. This has worked well for Ohio State this year. Leak hit at the 15, a flag down, and Leak gets slammed down out of bounds. This is going to be a penalty. Pope with just a horrible decision. Well out of bounds. Slamming Leak to the ground when you've got Maryland pinned probably inside the 10 because of a penalty. And then you, with the late hit there, just not smart at all.
Just got to know where he's at on the field. He's 5 yards out of bounds.
The official already threw his flag. That's why he threw his hat.
Correct.
You'll see it here. Come in and throw the hat. He reached for the flag, said, oh, I already tossed that. So there goes the hat. An easy call here.
Each official should have a 2-flag minimum.
Kayvon Pope,
They're
freshman.
They're talking about it, though. I mean, they're looking at it. Okay, he engages the ball carrier in the field of play, but it's the slam at the end that doesn't make sense. Why would he do that?
The play, both penalties will be enforced. During the return, illegal block in the back on the return team will penalize half the distance to the goal. After the play was over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Kicking team Number 36, 15-yard penalty, 1st and 10.
So basically, instead of starting at your 8-yard line, you're starting at your 23. And now, with 3:08 on the clock, you can run your offense.
That's just a big penalty. I mean, you're about, like you just said. I mean, granted, your defense hasn't done much for you, but maybe they get off the field and you got a chance to steal some points on a short field because you're in such great field position. But now, 15 yards is huge, especially with this amount of time left on the clock if you're hoping to maybe steal some points. And now, too, for Maryland, looking at it from their perspective, they might get a little more aggressive on offense because they're not backed up and they might be able to steal some points themselves.
Leak is the running back, but that's McFarland in motion. They'll hand it to Leak, and he coughs up the football. Borland had a chance to dive on it. Leak may have gotten it back. Borland had it, but then he lost it. Leak came in and recovered it for Maryland. A huge break for the Terrapins. Wow.
How does tough Borland not come up with this? You can see the fumble just on the exchange. Really bad mesh point between the quarterback and the running back. Leak, of course, loses it, but he stays with it. It's like in basketball, after you miss the shot, you got to follow your shot. And somehow, magically, Leak ends up on the football.
On the
How does
field was a
Borland not
fumble
get that?
recovered
Wow.
by the offense. 2nd down.
You know why, Greg. You can't pounce on the ball, man.
He had it in his grasp, though, and then he just kind of lost it as he spun over.
Got to cradle that thing.
Yeah.
I think he was trying to. Looked like he was trying to turn over. And
Well, when he jumped on it and you pounce on it, the ball squirts out from underneath you.
that's true. If anybody knows, Tom, how to recover a fumble, especially in bad weather, it's you. No, we
Yeah.
we
All
don't
we need
have
is a hurricane and we'll be good to go.
Please reset the game clock to 2:45. 2:45.
Just
Thank you.
looking back at that is a huge play right there, though. I mean, huge play. Ohio State has all the momentum, about to get it back potentially on the 25-yard.
And Ohio State on offense to start the 3rd quarter. From the Buckeye 29, Haskins throws on 1st and 10. Everybody covered, so he takes off and spun down after a 1-yard gain. Greg, all week you've been saying that you wouldn't be surprised if Maryland wins this game. In the first half, you kept saying, I'm not surprised at what's happening. Why?
Because what Maryland's doing right now offensively looks a little similar to what Purdue tries to attack you with. They get you going laterally, sideline to sideline, and then they hit it vertical with one of their outstanding running backs. So this defense for Ohio State still has some issues when it comes to handling the run game with some of those lateral moves.
Haskins pass tipped and picked off. Davis back to the house. Touchdown Terps. Rayvon Davis was called for back-to-back penalties in the first half. In the second half, less than a minute in, he gets a touchdown. 39-yard return for a score. 3rd pick of the year for the former walk-on, Rayvon Davis, and it's 31-17 Maryland.
Rayvon Davis' name will be in the paper, but how about the play by his safety, Darnell Savage? He's responsible for the tight end, but he gets off of it. He sees that Dwayne Haskins' eyes were actually to the outside. He recognizes it, tips the ball up in the air, and Rayvon Davis is on the receiving end. Just a great job by Darnell Savage, creating that disruption. An awesome job by Rayvon Davis being in the right place, right time, taking it back to the house.
And Urban Meyer continues to be in disbelief at what he is seeing here today.
When you look at the talent between these two teams, guys, you had to figure coming into this thing, Maryland was going to compete, but Ohio State would have to do some things to help them. So far they have.
FBS leading, 18th interception by the Maryland defense. Another Pooch kickoff to McCall on the 15th. And he stumbles that time to the 26-yard line. So Haskins, who grew up near Rutgers, but then went to high school here in Maryland at the Bullis School, just about 20 minutes away from the stadium here on campus. Dwayne's parents, Dwayne Sr. and Tamara, along with about 20 other members of the Haskins family on hand. And Haskins has played very well today, save that last throw. But the Buckeyes certainly with enough firepower to come back from 14 down with a half to go. Dobbins, very little on first down. Oluwatimi on the tackle for Maryland.
And you see Ohio State going right back to Dobbins. His last carry of the first half was a fumble. He had a great first half other than that one carry. He went over 100 yards in that half, and trying to get him involved early yet again.
Haskins on 2nd and 9, going to throw. Flag down. Haskins pass broken up. Incomplete, intended for Hill. Antoine Brooks in coverage. See what the flag's about.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense number 59. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
So that's on Keyron Howard of Maryland. That'll move the ball out past the 40-yard line for Ohio State.
Maryland goes the little tackle switch. You're going to see him move. And as he engages there with Pridgeon, that hand goes up into the face mask, that left hand. A good job by the umpire recognizing it and throwing the flag.
Yep, excellent call. 4th penalty on Maryland. Haskins to Hill, a little behind him, incomplete. Let's check in with Tom Luginbill, talk to at Canada at halftime.
Yeah, speaking with Coach, I mean, what can you ask him when you have the first half that they had? But really, he took responsibility for their ineffectiveness in the red area that actually led to the first Ohio State touchdown, calling the trick play when they had the very fortunate turnover after their first score. He said, those two are on me. But what he was very interested in was to see what Ohio State would do on defense into the boundary, because they made no attempt to make adjustments in the first 2 quarters.
Haskins off play action throws again. Campbell, and excellent defense by Savage. Urban told Tom at halftime they had to get Paris Campbell the ball more in the second half. But that was just great defense.
Yeah, great coverage and setting up a 3rd and long. Surprised that we haven't seen from Ohio State one of their bread and butter plays, the jet sweep to Paris Campbell. Get him going laterally. They have not employed that today, not one time, and that's such a huge part of their offense and a part that they've yet to test against this Maryland defense.
Buckeyes have been very good on 3rd down today, and they're number 2 in the Big Ten, 18th in the country on 3rd down coming in. Maryland rushes spot. Haskins looks. His pass to wide of the target, incomplete. Boy, there's a flag, and there should be. Johnny Dixon had his arm held that time by Lewis. Rashad Lewis, son of Ray Lewis, had a hold of Johnny Dixon.
Pass interference. Defense. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
And that's a good call. A lot of contact as Dixon reached the top of his stem on the curl route. And in this part of the field, if I'm Ohio State, just got fresh life on a 3rd long conversion because of the penalty. I'm taking a shot downfield. This part of the field, I want to throw it deep. I want to throw it deep in the direction of the receiver up top.
Instead, they run Dobbins again straight ahead, picks up only 3. It's been J.K. Dobbins. That's 22 carries now for him. Mike Weber was the guy getting most of the totes last week, but we really haven't seen Meyer at all. It's been all Dobbins. Haskins will throw here. That's a long toss outside the numbers, pulled in. It's a first down catch by Chris Olave, a true freshman, 5th catch of the year. But how about that throw from the hash mark all the way over here?
It's not supposed to look that easy. It's a long throw. Man, it gets on you in a hurry with that big, strong right arm.
Dobbins cuts it back inside the 15. It's a first down for Ohio State. And a run of 15 yards by Dobbins.
Beautiful cutback by J.K. Dobbins. He's been a big part of this offense for a couple years now, and his production and his consistency this year hasn't really matched what we kind of expected coming into his sophomore season, but getting back to form as the workhorse here today, it's a pretty decent Maryland defense.
Half of Ohio State's plays, he's had the ball in his hands, he does here, and he's inside the 5. His 24th carry of the day. And it's 1st and goal for Ohio State. Check it, he's going to be just short, so they run it, and Dobbins is tackled. Did get the first down, gets into the end zone, no touchdown. Haskins able to keep it. Great ball fake. Haskins scores for Ohio State to pull within a touchdown.
It's a great job by Haskins reading the end man on the line of scrimmage, who crashes on this zone read. That's Brooks. And he goes and absolutely crushes Dobbins. And a really nice job, effort by Dwayne Haskins to stretch that ball across the plane for the touchdown.
So after the pick 6, excellent response by Dwayne Haskins. And the Buckeyes are back within 7. Urban Meyer has said at some point Haskins has to be more effective as a runner, and he has been today in front of friends and family. ABC Saturday afternoon college football presented by Jarrett. The Buckeyes back within a touchdown early in the 3rd quarter here at Maryland. You can stream college football all season long on ESPN Plus. Start your free trial today. Download the ESPN app or visit ESPNplus.com. Dwayne Haskins, a career-high 35 rushing yards and 7 attempts. Leaves him 1 shy of his personal best for attempts. They're using him more in the running game today, as this is a touchback. It'll come out to the 25.
Well, it's time for Carhartt's putting in the work. And it's amazing to watch this Maryland rushing attack. Anthony McFarland, the feature player, who already has gone over 230 yards on the day, in large part due to these 2 big plays, breaking the tackle of Brendan White right there, and he's off to the races. But he wasn't the only one. Devon Leak wanted some action too. He hits the left-hand side on the stretch zone for the touchdown. Maryland has done a tremendous job today mixing it between their running backs, all of which have been very effective against a porous Ohio State defense.
Tyrell Pigrome at quarterback, making his first start of the season. And he hands it off to McFarland, brought down after a gain of 2. Remember that Kasim Hill tore his ACL against Indiana last week. 2nd straight year that Hill tore his ACL. Pigrome was the starter in the opener last year, and he got hurt, tore his ACL. But is back and played 9 games in spot duty prior to today. Hasn't had to throw the ball a lot, but his 1 completion was a big one, a 56-yarder. He's only thrown 4 passes all day. Hasn't had to throw it, but gonna let it fly here. No, he's gonna take off and dives forward to avoid a sack. Pete Werner on the trip up. It is 3rd and long.
Go a lot of man-to-man defense right here, Greg. The motion is giving it away, but Ohio State is pinning their ears back.
Yeah, they are, and you just have to wonder, is it a matter of time until this Ohio State defensive front steps up, answers the challenge,
takes over,
and takes advantage of an offensive line that is veteran with 4 seniors across the front. It's certainly not as deep or as talented as that group that the Buckeyes sport along the front.
Pigrome has not been in must-pass situations a lot today. He's on the move here and throws incomplete. Or is it caught? Yes, it is. Right at the line to gain by Daryl Jones. He gets the first down. Another true freshman receiver for Maryland making a play.
It's a beautiful catch. Fully extended. Draymond Jones had an unbelievable inside pass rush, but Pigrome, being the athlete that he is, escapes to the wide side of the field and creates on the scramble drill. Great conversion for the Terps.
Only their second third down conversion today. Back to the ground, and McFarland has to cut it back because he's in trouble. Going all the way to this side, and he actually gets positive yardage. This kid is talented. We obviously saw the speed in the first half, but how about also the vision that time? Saw he was going nowhere, cut it back, and got about 6 yards.
Yeah, it's these plays that make you special at running back. It's not when the offensive line blocks it perfectly and you're one-on-one, you make a guy miss. That's great. A lot of guys can do that. But when you have absolutely nothing like you had right there and you somehow turn a negative play into not just a positive play, but a successful play at that, that's what makes you special. And Anthony McFarland, only a redshirt freshman, very bright future here in College Park.
He's had 4 100-yard games this season, the most by a Maryland player ever in a single year, although he gets stacked up here at the line of scrimmage. Third down.
I think he's got some Dalvin Cook in him, guys, in terms of the ability to break arm tackles, but also be a home run threat at any given moment. And with a big third down here, Tyrell Pigrams, they're going to have to make some plays here, continue to in the passing game, even if they're improvised and creative because things break down. Because Ohio State defensively, Greg, they have made a commitment to pressure on third down.
Yeah, there's a lot more defenders that are close to the line of scrimmage for Ohio State here early in the second half, clearly trying to slow down this Terps rushing attack.
Pigram will throw again on third down. Has time, single coverage over here, but the pass way high, intended for Jones. Okudah in coverage. It's fourth down, and so Maryland will have to punt the football for just the second time today. In fact, this will be the third punt overall between the two teams.
Really good start to the second half for Ohio State. They, of course, Maryland scored 7 points, but that was while the Buckeyes offense was on the field. So nice sequence of plays there for a Buckeye defense. They couldn't do anything right in the first half.
Wade Lease at age 30, the Maryland punter. KJ Hill backing up, and it's fair caught near the 16-yard line. 44-yard punt, no return. Haskins back on the field next.
College football presented by Jared on ABC is brought to you by Chevrolet. Chevy has earned J.D. Power Dependability Awards across cars, trucks, and SUVs. And Northwestern Mutual. Spend your life living.
Get ready to learn something new with today's Aflac Game Fact. Aflac! How about this one? Ohio State has won 29 straight noon Eastern games since Urban Meyer took over as the head coach of the Buckeyes in 2012. Midway through the third quarter, Myers Buckeyes down 7, still in contention for a Big Ten title and a college football playoff spot, obviously, if they win today. Dobbins brought down after a gain of 3. Been an emotional day for Urban Meyer. Upset after giving up a touchdown run early in the game and also a special teams error. You rarely see that out of an Urban Meyer coach team. Wayne Haskins throwing here. It's caught by Dixon. He's got a first down out to the 30. And then the ball came out. They're going to rule Dixon down. Either that or he just recovered the ball. The umpire signaling Ohio State ball first down.
And you have to wonder, with all the emotion that Urban Meyer's shown on the sideline, is that a plea to get his guys to play with some urgency on both sides of the ball? Usually, if he's going crazy, he's trying to inspire the rest of his team, and he didn't respond in the first half. Looking better now, though.
They get the ball to Paris Campbell here on the sweep, and he breaks a tackle at the 30 and is out of bounds about a yard and a half shy of the first down. Antoine Richardson on the tackle. I think, too, we touched on this in the first half. Knowing that Michigan is next week, it's natural for your players to start looking ahead to the game. As Dobbins gets the first down out to the 45. A flag comes in, though.
They're going to get holding on the left guard. Left guard Malcolm Pridgeon, and they should have called it the previous play.
Yep, so it's coming back.
Holding. Offense number 66. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Now watch Pridgeon here. As he engages with the defensive lineman, you see that left arm kind of grab what looks like here in Howard, number 59, as the ball is getting close to the line of scrimmage. It's a good job by the officials.
Thayer Munford still out, the left tackle. How much, two guys, is it that Urban Meyer knows his team is talented enough to win the remainder of the games on their schedule? It's got him so fired up when he sees them making mental errors.
Yeah, there's nothing more frustrating than not being able to reach your potential as a team or as a player.
They're going to run McCall here on second down, and he gets a first down. Adam McLean on the tackle, but the Buckeyes moving the ball again, nearing midfield, down 7.
And their inefficiencies, it's not for a lack of talent. It's really the lack of execution. Defensively, their run fits, the way they attack and leverage the football, and then offensively, their inability to consistently protect along the offensive line.
Haskins back to throw, and trying to get some positive yardage here. He does. It takes 4 Terrapins to get him down. He picks up about 4 yards. The offensive coordinator for Ohio State, Ryan Day, he was the acting head coach the first 3 games during the suspension of Urban Meyer. One of the bright young coaches in college football, just 39 years old, Ryan Day.
Yeah, he's a star. And whether it's at Ohio State or it's elsewhere, he's going to become a head coach at some point here in the near future. He's a star in the making as the Terrapins down Adam McLean.
Want to stay up to date? Hey Siri.
Hard line.
We've seen the game plan. I mean, Dobbins now. We've talked a lot about Anthony McFarland for Maryland. He's on the cusp of running for 250, but J.K. Dobbins, don't forget about him. He's got 30 for 176.
Here he is again, this time bottled up. Good job by Maryland at the point of attack.
Greg, you almost get the sense that Urban Meyer pulled J.K. Dobbins aside and said, son, we're either going to win this game or lose this game on your shoulders. Because there's no other back. I mean, when you consider the entire portion of this game, it's all number 2.
Got 3 yards on that play. Now Haskins going to throw it. Flushed out of the pocket and throws on the run. It's caught inside the 10. Luke Farrell on the grab. First and goal, Ohio State from the Maryland 5.
Really nice job by Dwayne Haskins right there, extending the play, keeping his eyes downfield. And here at the 5, expect to get J.K. Dobbins some work inside.
Dobbins down to the 1. This is where he fumbled at the end of the second quarter. Can he punch it in here in the 4th to get the Buckeyes within 1?
Urban Meyer screaming for tempo right now on the Ohio State sideline.
And he's going to get it. They're quickly over the ball. They snap it to Haskins. Dobbins will not get in. Brought down at the 1. It is 3rd and goal for Ohio State. And now Haskins is going to the sideline. Tate Martell, the backup quarterback, is coming in here for 3rd and goal.
Yeah, they go with Tate Martell because he's got that elusive ability, a little bit more athletic than Dwayne Haskins.
It's a little predictable, though.
Yeah, it's been quarterback run just about every time he's been on the field. Let's see if they mix it up here or if they go with something to the right. The right side is where there might be some opportunities for Ohio State.
Penalty flag down.
Ball start. Offense number 59. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
So now you've got to put Haskins back in. You got to take Martell out, and that's what they're going to do because now it's 3rd and goal from the 6.
Man, it just can't happen. I mean, Tate Martell is going up, trying to adjust the snap, trying to adjust the play, and Isaiah Prince hears his quarterback audibly talk about what they're going to run, and he jumps. So 3rd and 1, 3rd and goal from the 1 versus 3rd and goal from the 6. Much more difficult spot to be in. Expect Haskins to look in the direction of KJ Hill.
Haskins with time, throws, Hill juggles, but then secures it. Touchdown, Ohio State. A point away from tying the game. Dwayne Haskins' parents looking on. He ties J.T. Barrett for the school record 35th touchdown pass this season. Went to high school about 20 minutes away. The point after gives us a new game here in College Park, 31 apiece. despite all the mistakes on defense, the turnovers on offense, and on special teams, Ohio State has stormed back to tie Maryland with a Big Ten title and a spot on the college football playoff still in play. It's one of the best games of the NFL season, and we have it Monday night from Los Angeles. The Chiefs and Rams, 8:15 Eastern Time. Our coverage starts with Monday Night Countdown at 6. Simulcast in Spanish on ESPN News and the ESPN app.
It's going to be an unbelievable game. Two great young quarterbacks. Future of the NFL. Some great hands with those guys leading the charge.
Great kickoff. And Lee can only get to the 17-yard line. Take a look at our Pacific Life game summary. Maryland led big early because of the 2 long touchdown runs by McFarland, 75 yards and 81 yards, but Dwayne Haskins has thrown for over 300 yards in the game. He's got a rushing touchdown, 2 passing touchdowns, almost 900 total yards of offense in this game. And the defense for Ohio State has really stepped up in the second half. Will Pigrome have to throw the ball? It's only 2 of 7 in the game. They fake the jet sweep. Pigrome will throw it here. Now looking for a running lane, carrying that ball out there initially loosely, but does well to get out of play after stumbling and getting about 8 yards.
And this is what Tyrell Pigrome's going to have to do. He's not a great rhythmic passer from within the pocket. That's still a part of his game he really needs to develop. As you see, the offensive coordinator and interim head coach Matt Canada, he's really best when he's improvising, when he's running around, when he's creating on his own. He hasn't had to do much today, especially through the air, but those legs make him a weapon, and Ohio State's going to have to account for it.
See if they give it to number 5, Anthony McFarland. 16 carries, 242 rushing yards on the day. Second and short. It is McFarland. Huge lane. And McFarland breaks to the outside, past the 40-yard line. Turns on the Jets and scoots out of play in Buckeye territory at the 48-yard line. 28 more yards for McFarland.
Yeah, you're going to see a cutback right here because of all the surge by this Ohio State defense. Look at that cutback lane, and McFarland does a great job of getting north and south and then breaking it back out to the edge where he has some room. McFarland has been absolutely off the charts today, and his offensive coordinator and interim head coach Matt Canada has done a great job of creating space for him in the run game as well.
Can't wait to watch this kid run the next 3 years. Just a redshirt freshman. McFarland the deep back. He'll get it again. Well defended by White, but still 2 or 3 yards. McFarland, though, injured. He missed his senior year of high school in Hyattsville, Maryland with an injury. Redshirted last year. Burst onto the scene this year with a 200-yard game last week. Another 200-yard game this week. But Maryland's best offensive player is shaken up. Back in a moment. Take a look at some of the Ohio State and Maryland faithful in the military from around the world as we honor those who served. Brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. Anthony McFarland, star running back from Maryland, shaken up on the previous play. Working out that right shoulder on the sideline, so Javon Leak, the backup, is in the game. McFarland, the tent right now. Here's the injury. Slammed down on that right shoulder by Brendan White.
Yeah, hopefully he can return. He's been so exciting to watch today. He's had a career best 272 yards of offense.
Leak runs right into Borland. The outstanding middle linebacker for Ohio State. He had an Achilles injury in the spring. They thought it was going to take him time into September before he played in the game, but we were there week 1 in Columbus and he was on the field.
Yeah, and talking to him, they're like, I don't know how he got back so fast. He keeps himself in such incredible physical shape as he goes out on the 3rd and long, and Malik Harrison will play the inside linebacker spot in this down and distance. But Tough Borland has been He's been just that, tough this year, battling back from injury.
Big run throwing for just the 8th time, and the pass is caught, but Harrison makes a great play on Jayshon Jones. Forward progress to the 46-yard line of Ohio State, but it's 4th down, and Maryland's going to punt the football inside 10 minutes to go. Greg Schiano, who's one of the best defensive coaches in college football. The adjustments made at halftime. More sound play on that side of the football. Maryland really has been unable to do anything offensively here in the second half.
Yeah, it's been a complete Jekyll and Hyde performance with the way this defense has answered in the second half.
KJ Hill is deep. And Lease hits a fake, and it's caught. Will they get the first down? They do! Inside the 35, Jacobs to the 30-yard line. Maryland with a fake punt, and they move it into Buckeye territory, picking up 15 yards. Wade Lease to Jacobs.
What a great play and design. Ohio State's coming after it. They're coming to block this kick, and Lee's just takes it, grabs it, allows that rush to ensue, and he drops it off. What a great play call and outstanding execution by the Maryland punt team.
How about Matt Canada? We got nothing to lose, everything to gain.
And also Dante Demas, the true freshman, blocking to make sure that Jacobs had enough room to get the first down. Will they take a shot here? Pigram unloads, incomplete as he was getting pressured by Jonathan Cooper. And McFarland going into the Maryland locker room. So Javon Leake, a sophomore who had only 17 carries coming into today. Had 6 attempts in this ball game. It looks like with the injury to McFarland, and also Ty Johnson, who is banged up, who is the number 4 all-time rusher in Maryland history. Puts more on the shoulders of Pigram.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. Like we talked about, no really quarterback design runs for Pigram. At some point, they might need to open up that part of the playbook to get their quarterback run game involved. Welcome back on the heels of an unbelievable fake punt by Maryland. Now, Urban Meyer, look at him at the top of the screen, okay? He's reacting to the fake punt. And you see him just kind of jumping and just look so disappointed. He is the special teams coach. He says, hey, that's my fault. You know, that's accountability from the head coach. And he has worn his emotions on his sleeve today as his team has constantly been trying to fight back. His defense on the field with Maryland threatening here.
2nd and 10 at the 31-yard line of Ohio State. And they run Fleet Davis, and he doesn't get much. Be 3rd down and long. Keep in mind they have a true freshman kicker in Joseph Petrino. He has missed just once this year, and it happened today. A 49-yard attempt. So it'd be interesting to see what they call here on 3rd down and about 6. You got 3-4 yards there on that last play.
And if I'm Matt Canada, I'm thinking quarterback draw or something like that. Put the ball in Tyrell Pigram's arms. He can really run it if given the opportunity.
Instead, he's going to throw it. And he takes a deep shot on 3rd and long, and the pass is caught out of bounds at the 1. True freshman Jayshon Jones. And it's Pigram who's thrown only 8 passes all day on 3rd and 6, throwing a deep ball. 1st and goal. Maryland.
What a throw by Pigram.
Ohio State coaches are on the field here, and
I don't really know how it ended up where it did, because it looked like
I think he had 2 feet in, guys.
he had 2 feet in, but how do they spot on the 1? He's
a touchdown.
in the end zone.
It's a touchdown.
I don't know where they ended up spotting it or why they ended up spotting it where they did.
The ruling on the field was a completed pass, and the player went out of bounds short of the goal line. The play is under further review.
This is going to get overturned to be a touchdown. Greg, I think that official there, he thought he caught it initially and stepped out before the goal line, but I don't know how he saw it that way.
Yeah, but we got to look first. Does he secure the catch? Does Jones secure the catch. He does right there, and the right foot is down, inbounds, in the end zone.
And you see there, he's got the football. That's a touchdown.
That is an incredible catch.
True freshman Jay-Sean Jones, who was the last to sign with this latest recruiting class for Maryland, had a game earlier this year where he scored 3 different ways: a run, a pass, and a catch. First 3 touches of his career. First player since Marcus Mariota to do that. And what a grab here after the initial juggle.
After review, the player gained control of the ball and got a foot down inbounds in the end zone. Is a touchdown.
And the Terrapins have the lead back. Give the quarterback some credit, too.
It's a great throw by Pigram. Just a great throw. He's only completed 4 today, but 2 of those 4 were sensational throws. One on a deep 50-plus yard post. This on a 3rd down, a critical 3rd down at that, on the go route down the left sideline.
That was 3rd and 6. It ends up in a touchdown, and the point after makes it a 7-point Terrapin lead.
He just recognizes press coverage, and press coverage with a vertical route on the outside with no safety help over the top. I don't blame Tyrell Pigram for taking a chance like this. Got to trust his receiver, his freshman wide receiver at that, to win vertical, and he does. Gets on top of Kendall Sheffield and secures it for the touchdown. Press coverage with a vertical route. An unbelievable concentration by Jay-Sean Jones as he arrives in the end zone.
Well, we said whoever gets this Maryland job, as you see the dejection of the head coach Urban Meyer on the other side, whoever gets this Maryland job is going to have a wealth of young talent at his disposal next year.
And I'll tell you what, Matt Canada on that drive, he is the interim head coach right now. That was his touchdown. Fake on the punt, calling it opportunistic, executing it, and then cashing in a couple plays later on the deep ball touchdown. Matt Canada deserves a lot of credit there for the way that drive was handled.
Only the 2nd touchdown pass this year for Pigram. It's a touchback. It'll come out to the 25. And remember, Pigram is making his first start this season, replacing the injured Kasim Hill, who tore his ACL last week. Coming up next, about 20 minutes away on ABC, West Virginia at Oklahoma State, followed by Cincinnati at UCF. Do you see an upset in Stillwater today?
Dare I say yes?
Sure, go ahead. Dare. Double dare.
I'm going to say it's very close, but West Virginia survives. Expect the game to look awfully similar to the way the game looked between West Virginia and Texas, where they win, but might not be the prettiest win for the Mountaineers.
First down to the Ohio State 25 after the touchback. Fake. Haskins unloads, and a diving play. Dixon on the catch in Maryland territory, down to the 40-yard line.
What a catch.
35 yards.
What a catch by Johnny Dixon. Wow. Picking it up right off his shoelaces and making the play.
So in one play, they move it from their own 25 to the Maryland 40. And now Dobbins with his 34th carry of the game. Picks up 5 yards, brought down by Antoine Brooks.
Greg, how impressive was Dixon's ability to not allow that ball to come in contact with the ground? The way he swung his arms around, just fantastic focus.
Play fake for Haskins on 2nd down. With time, long throw, and that one hit the ground. Intended for Luke Farrell. 3rd down and 5 coming up.
And probably 4-down territory, too, if you're Ohio State. This part of the field, plus territory, maybe just outside the range of your kicker. So you might be thinking, all right, I got 2 downs to pick this up and convert, potentially, if you're Ohio State.
Dobbins off the left side, gets the first down on his 35th attempt. 7 yards. Puts the ball on the 28-yard line. He's got a career high 195 rushing yards, and he's worn out, man. He is gassed
When they get back on the plane, J.K. Dobbins needs a seat in first class.
They're going to give him a cold tub in first class.
He needs a seat in first class. What a job he's done today.
Haskins to the air, looking, got a man! Oh, right through the hands of Olave, incomplete! Had to turn around and couldn't relocate the ball right through the midst.
Just a late adjustment by Olave. They had the similar play earlier to KJ Hill, and Haskins threw it up the field. Olave just can't locate it as he turns his body.
Demario McCall in the game on second down, but it's Haskins keeping it, and he's grabbed by Trey Watson and brought down. They haven't run him a ton this year, more today than in previous games. And how about Trey Watson, the grad transfer from Illinois, on senior day? He spent a good 15 minutes with us yesterday, talking about his love for this team, even though it's been 1 year here, all that they've been through with the death of Jordan McNair in the offseason, how it's brought the team closer together, how fired up they are to play this game, and it's showing today. Can they get to Haskins on 3rd and long? They force him out of the pocket, and he throws, caught first down Hill. What a pass moving left by Haskins to the 17-yard line.
This is why Dwayne Haskins reminds me of Ben Roethlisberger. He just flips those shoulders nice and easy. Look at the tight spiral, too. Just putting it right between the 1 and the 4 on KJ Hill's jersey. Very accurate moving to his left.
Dobbins back on the field, but Haskins going to swing it out to KJ Hill. Turns it upfield, close to another first down inside the 10. Tackled by Savage, just short. Nearing 5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Ohio State down 7, and there's an injured Maryland player.
Ohio State sideline does not like this at all.
Oluwaseun Oluwatimi is shaken up for Maryland. 7-point Terrapin lead here in the fourth. Welcome back to Maryland. This was Urban Meyer during the break, and don't know if this is just frustration, anger over the day. We do know about previous health issues with Coach Meyer. The cyst on his brain that had to be drained 4 years ago that becomes a problem when he gets too fired up sometimes and too emotional. Looks to be doing okay here. 2nd down and 1 on the 8-yard line. Ohio State down 7, nearing 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Dobbins, and he gets the first down to the 6. Brought down by Brooks. Fresh set of downs now for the Buckeyes. 1st and goal.
You have to think this part of the field, they're going to continue to try to really pound the ball between the tackles. That's been their plan. When they get to this part of the field, they really try to enforce their will at the line of scrimmage. See if that trend continues.
36 carries for Dobbins. Play fake here for Haskins. Over the middle, it's caught near the goal line, but not in. Then the ball comes out, but they're going to rule McLaurin down at the 1. 2nd and goal from the 1 with the clock running 4.5 and counting.
Breaking a tendency there, going with play action. And you can see McLaurin secure it, go down to the ground. McLaurin's a little shaken up.
He got slammed down by Rashad Lewis, the son of the great Ray Lewis. And you saw, too, the ball in his left hand was short of the goal line. So he definitely didn't get into the end zone. And he definitely was down when the ball came out.
I like the play call there, though. They've run it inside so many times when they get to that 5-yard line. This time they fake the run inside, get some crossing routes, and almost get the touchdown.
Without that pressure right there, Greg, I think that ball was just meant to be kind of lofted and drag McLaurin across the field.
Yeah, he had plenty of space, but didn't have enough time to allow McLaurin to really separate as he tried to break away from the defender.
To be the 11th play of the drive coming up. 2nd and goal from the 1. Emotional day for Maryland because it's senior day. Emotional day for Urban Meyer, knowing his team is talented enough to win out, but a lot of mental mistakes on defense and special teams. He's been frustrated throughout, excited many times when Ohio State would make big plays. And there's the wince that we caught when Dobbins was running to the sideline. Again, don't know if it's frustration, if it's anger. We talked about the cyst that he's dealt with. Also, when he was at Florida, had esophageal spasms that would cause intense chest pain. And obviously hoping Coach Meyer is just okay, and that's just out of frustration and anger. The reactions that we're seeing. If they win today, they'll play Michigan next week for the Big Ten East title, and then on to play Northwestern in the Big Ten championship game. So still not only an opportunity to win the Big Ten, but to get into the college football playoff. A loss eliminates both of those dreams. But they have a chance still to tie the ball game here on 2nd and goal from the 1. They're going to give it to Dobbins, pushing, but short. Trey Watson again in the middle, making the play. 3rd and goal.
Look and see if Dobbins got in there, and clearly stopped short because of big number 33, Trey Watson. And a good job up front, too, by that Terp defensive line, getting lower than the Ohio State Buckeyes offensive line.
Do you give it to Dobbins again? I do. Instead, Haskins in! Touchdown, Ohio State! Second rushing touchdown for Haskins. He had 1 all season.
Man, heads-up play by Dwayne Haskins here. Low snap. This is supposed to be a handoff to J.K. Dobbins. Instead, Haskins recognizes, hey, low snap, secure it, and all surge forward instead of trying to create the handoff mesh. It's a heads-up play by the quarterback, not making the bad play worse and actually turning it into a positive.
Paul Beal ties the game at 38 apiece with 3:41 to go. Haskins homecoming. He has scored 4 times, twice running, twice throwing. But how about Maryland on its last drive? A fake punt. A first down for Jacobs, which leads to Tyrell Pigram on 3rd down and 6, throwing a bomb to the end zone. Just a second touchdown pass all season. Jayshon Jones juggles it, but then pulls it in. But again, the Buckeyes storm right back to tie it up. Over 1,000 yards and 13 plays combined of 20 yards or more. Who knows what the score might be without the turnovers, especially the one at the end of the first half inside the 5 by Dobbins. But the Terrapins, even though the game is tied, will have the football and 2 timeouts. From the 20-yard line, leak past the 30, kicker makes the play, Haw-Beal. At the 39-yard line. Did Haw-Beal reach a leg out here and kick the return man? You see Leak holding his stomach.
I mean, that's tripping. I mean, Haw-Beal lays out, but he lifts those legs back up. Fortunate to not have a penalty flag thrown there on the kicker and the tackle.
Great return, though, out to the 39-yard line. And Anthony McFarland is back in the game. He went to the locker room the last time we saw him with a right shoulder injury. But it's a pass play. Pigram looking deep. He's got a man. It's caught. Inside the 5. Touchdown! Darryl Jones! The ball. Boy, hard to tell if the ball crossed the plane before the foot hit the pylon. Ruling on the field is a touchdown. And how about that? McFarland's back in the game, and it's Pigram throwing another deep ball.
The play is under further review.
In his first start of the season, filling in for the starter who tore his ACL last week. What a throw.
And what effort, too, by Darryl Jones. Does the ball cross the plane, or is that foot down just prior?
Yeah, it was even before the foot hit the pylon. It's his left foot there, out of bounds. But where's the ball? You can't tell if it's over the end zone, or over the goal line, rather.
Here it is.
I don't think they can overturn that, do you?
The left foot is down. It's just hard to tell from that angle where the ball is as that foot hits it down right there. You can see that foot down. His left foot, and where is the ball at that point?
Well, it looks short, Greg, but again,
look short.
you have to be able to say beyond all doubt that's not a touchdown to overturn it. I don't know that you can. Let's see.
After review, the runner made the catch, and he stepped out of bounds with the ball at the 1 yard line. It will be first and goal at the 1.
So they deemed that there was indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt. They overturn it. Still first and goal, though, on the 1 yard line for Maryland.
Greg and Dave, this might actually help Maryland here because of the time and the clock and how much time would have been left on the clock.
Yeah.
I think it's the correct call. Looking at it again from that angle, that really tells the story. As that foot goes out of bounds, the ball does appear to be a little short. And I'm with you, Tom. You can grind out the clock a little bit here.
I think
if you're Maryland and you choose to.
Right. I think they take just punching it in here on the first play.
No
right,
question.
But more time off the clock's going to help them.
But maybe don't snap it right away. Take some time off the clock here before you snap it. Instead, they move on the right side of the line.
False start. Offense number 64. 5 yard penalty. Remains first down.
It's the right guard, Brendan Moore, making his 36th straight start. One of the most reliable, smartest guys up front with a huge mistake. Now it's first and goal on the 6.
Huge mistake there. The 1 yard line. You got to be so sound in your cadence, and you don't want to do too much. That time, the right guard just can't stay in there long enough. First and goal from the 6. Much tougher than first and goal from the 1.
McFarland gets the carry, and he gets drilled at the 5 yard line. Borland had him first. Harrison cleans him up. But as Tom pointed out now, the clock works in their favor, so Ohio State has to start using its timeouts, and the Buckeyes do here.
And if I'm Matt Canada and I'm calling this offensive sequence, I'm not throwing the football. I'm keeping it on the ground, whether it be with Pigram, my quarterback, carrying the football, or I'm going to try to get Anthony McFarland the ball somewhere in space. But I'm not throwing it, not in this part of the field.
Even if you run it here on second down and you don't get in, you're in third down, you don't throw the ball if you're third down and goal at the 5.
No, I'm still going to try to run the football because I want Ohio State to burn their timeouts without a shadow of a doubt. And even if we kick a field goal, you're still in a pretty good spot given the way your defense has played at times. Not so much in the second half, but I'm definitely running the football. I'm not taking any unnecessary chances with the pass rush that Ohio State has and the defenders that they have on the back end in man coverage.
And you can control what Ohio State would have to do by running the ball.
Clock is at 2:41. Each team with a pair of timeouts. Second and goal on the 5. Pigram going to keep it. And he'll lose yardage. Huge hit by Harrison, leveling Pigram out of bounds. And it's a loss of 2. It's third and goal on the 7. Do you stick with running it here because the clock's moving? You're outside 2 minutes, but boy, third and goal on the 7, Greg.
Yeah, I'm still running it. I just know Pigram is a better athlete than he is a thrower at this point.
You can't go out of bounds there.
No, you can't. You got to be aware of where you are on the side. Looked like Pigram tried to give himself up as he got close.
But the clock's moving. I mean, I know it saves maybe a few seconds for Ohio State, but you're outside 2 minutes, so the clock's moving.
They've run the ball efficiently on this down and distance so far today. I would look to them to continue to try to run the football.
They do have a true freshman kicker, but Pigram's going to throw it here on third and goal to the end zone. Way overthrown. It's fourth. There's a late flag that just came down. In the end zone, they're signaling pass interference on Ohio State. But was it catchable? The ball was thrown way over the head of the intended receiver, and Urban Meyer is saying he had no chance to catch that.
Defense number 3. The foul occurred in the end zone. The ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. Automatic first down.
That's on Damon Arnett covering Jay Sean Jones.
Yeah, look at Arnett here. He does make contact with Jones as Jones breaks to the inside. And you can see him grab him down around the waist. That ball is way, way up there, though.
Guys, it hit our camera.
I mean it was way out of
way up
bounds
there.
First and goal on the 2. Fleet Davis is the running back here. Tied. Pigram won't get in. Got a yard. Does Ohio State use another timeout? Yes. That'll leave the Buckeyes with 1. 1:52 to go. Let's go to Matt Berry while we have a moment in the studio.
Yeah, guys, time now for the All-State Mayhem moment. Harvard-Yale over on ESPN2. Devin Darrington gets loose here, 27-yard touchdown, but watch towards the end. Flashes an inappropriate hand gesture, called back for unsportsmanlike conduct. Harvard still leading 38-27 late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, you just don't see that very often, right? I mean, they changed that rule about 7 years ago where if you taunt before you score, it's no touchdown. Here, we're tied at 38 with 1:52 to go. Ohio State with 1 timeout left. Second and goal from inside the 1 for Maryland.
I have to wonder if Maryland goes with the same offensive play as the last one. Just a quarterback sneak. It looks like with how Ohio State's aligned right now, it's like they're playing for that quarterback sneak with those defensive linemen tight.
Fleet Davis is behind Pigram. Fleet Davis, no, stopped at the 1. Does Ohio State use its final timeout? Yep, with 1:46 to go. Third and goal from the 1. If you're Matt Canada, so creative offensively, do you keep it simple here, or you try to do something that maybe Ohio State's not expecting on this play?
Simple. I run my most effective play, and that's just inside zone to their running back.
But do it to the left, right, Greg? Get yourself in the middle of the field.
Correct. Because at least if you stop short, maybe that makes my kicker just a little bit better if he's a couple yards off the hash. So I'm running inside zone to the left. My bread and butter play. I don't try to get too creative, because when you get creative, that's when bad things happen. I call the play that we've called 100 times throughout the course this season. Let's see if they come up with something here on maybe their most important play of the 2018 season.
Third and goal on the 1-yard line. Pigram hands it off for McFarland, and he breaks a tackle. And on the second effort, he gets in. Touchdown! The ball came out and recovered by Okwonko for a Maryland touchdown.
The ruling on the field is the ball was fumbled in the field of play and recovered in the end zone by the offense. By rule, it is a touchdown.
McFarland on second effort lost the ball, and true freshman Chigoziem Okwonko recovers the ball at the 1-yard line.
It was a fumble that went into the end zone, was recovered by the offense for a touchdown. The play is under further review.
Pete Werner forced the fumble. Okwonko recovers it in the end zone, just pounces on it right there after a great play by the Ohio State defense.
Man, what a play for Maryland. McFarland doing everything he possibly can to try to break the plane. He extends those arms out, which leads to the fumble. And Okwonko, just the right place at the right time. And he hops on it in the end zone.
Wow.
For the touchdown. Wow.
The bounces have gone the way of the Terrapins here today.
Just like you practice it, boys.
Go with the jet sweep to McFarland. He's been their bell cow all day. He got banged up earlier in the game. It's an interesting play call because that action, that handoff happens so quickly. You do see fumbles on those quite a bit. He's stopped short, but the freshman receiver appears to have bailed him out with a massive fumble recovery.
Now Ohio State will still have 1:41 on the clock, but no timeouts.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Chigoziem Okonkwo, true freshman, Powder Springs, Georgia. I wonder how big his eyes got when he sees that ball come free. It rolls into the end zone, and all the white jerseys were tackling McFarland. It was just him, the ball, and airspace. Petrino missed an extra point last week, but he puts this one through, and it's a 7-point Maryland lead with 1:41 to go. Maryland has won the turnover battle. At the end of the first half, Dobbins fumbles the ball, recovered in the end zone for Maryland, and then a pick six by Haskins, returned by Davis for a touchdown early on in the third quarter. And then Haskins runs into offensive lineman Demetrius Knox and coughs it up, recovered by Trey Watson. The fake punt by Maryland leads to a great touchdown catch by true freshman Jayshon Jones. And then how about the defensive pass interference on Damon Arnett? It was going to be fourth down for Maryland. Instead, it's a fresh set of downs from the 2, even though it looked like it was way over the head of the intended receiver and uncatchable. They threw the penalty flag and kept with pass interference. And then Maryland is able to score on a fumble recovery to go up 7. Demario McCall is deep. No timeouts left for the Buckeyes. They've been kicking it short all day. McCall doesn't signal for a fair catch, and he's past the 25. And McCall still going across the 40, and finally run out of play near midfield by the kicker Petrino. Great return of 37 yards by McCall. Plenty of time now for Ohio State.
Plenty of time. If I'm Dwayne Haskins and I'm in the huddle, I'm telling the guys, hey, we just got to get this drive started. Great field position, excellent work, kickoff return team. Just have to have a positive play on first down to create some momentum in a 2-minute situation.
They're going to go empty here. Dobbins leaving the backfield on first down for midfield. Haskins, homecoming for him. Went to high school in Potomac. About 20 minutes from here. Throws complete. Paris Campbell. First down inside the 40. Clock will stop to reset the chains.
Plenty of time. No need to go hyper speed. But in this situation, if you're Dwayne Haskins, I'm thinking Johnny Dixon, Campbell, and Hill. Those are my playmakers.
Haskins leaving the pocket. Being chased. Gets rid of it to Dobbins, who makes the catch and is out of bounds. Stopping the clock. He picks up 2 or 3 on the play. 1:14 to go for the Buckeyes. Down 7. No timeouts remaining. Does Maryland bring pressure here? They rush 4. Haskins climbs the pocket. Now throws deep and throws it away. KJ Hill looked like he was actually open there underneath.
Yeah, he was. Haskins got a little greedy there, trying to pick up the big play instead of just taking what was underneath. So if I'm Haskins here, I got to be thinking down and distance more so than anything else. Third down, be mindful of the down and distance. No need to get it all right here. Just get it to a spot where the fourth down attempt will be very manageable.
Again, an empty set. Third down and 8. Haskins, he got hit. But he still completes it. What a throw. Campbell on the catch. First down at the 20-yard line. A gain of 17. And the clock stopped with 1:02 remaining.
I think he just lost his footing, guys.
I think he just slipped.
Yeah.
But it further proves the point. In scenarios like this, with a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, you look in the direction of your best playmakers. Their best playmaker is Paris Campbell.
Haskins, with defenders at his feet, takes off, and inside the 15, a flag comes down. Should be a face mask call on Jesse Annabonum. Haskins to the 13-yard line. And you see here Annabonum reaching in, pulling the face mask. That's going to give the Buckeyes the football inside their 10-yard line. 54 seconds left.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense number 6 will penalize half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
We'll see where they spot the ball after the half the distance to the goal foul. They had to determine, first of all, where exactly was Haskins taken down. We'll spot it at the 7. Closer to the 6. A timeout by Maryland. .54 seconds to go. Maryland in front by 7. Ohio State still with a shot to win the Big Ten and get into the college football playoff, but down 7 late in the fourth quarter. Coming up next on ABC, West Virginia in Stillwater to take on Oklahoma State. And then the team that's won 22 in a row, UCF, is the featured team in our ABC primetime game. But don't sleep on Luke Fickell and Cincinnati. Longest current winning streak in the country going back to 2016, UCF. All right, first and goal for the Buckeyes on the 6-yard line. DeMario McCall is in the game at running back. Dobbins has carried it 37 times. Haskins has carried it 12 times, a career high. And he has 2 rushing touchdowns. But he'll throw out of an empty set. Looking end zone for Hill. Knocked away, incomplete. Savage with a terrific play in the end zone.
It's a great job by Darnell Savage. They try to work a little stick nod, and he's open. It's a bad throw by Haskins. It's behind him. If he throws that out in front of KJ Hill, high in the back of the end zone, there's no way Savage can reach a hand in there and knock it away. Got to be a little bit more accurate as the windows get tighter in this part of the field.
Again, empty backfield on second and goal with 50 seconds remaining. Haskins with time. And now throws it away out of the back of the end zone, but a flag. That looked uncatchable, though. Davis interfered with KJ Hill, but again, that ball was thrown way over the head of the receiver, similar to what we saw happen in the other end zone on the last possession. Unless there was another foul.
Prior to the pass, holding,
So
defense number 2 will penalize half the distance to the goal. Automatic first down.
Yeah, so in that case, on defensive holding, it doesn't matter whether the pass was catchable or not because it's before the ball is thrown. And so 44 seconds to go. First and goal from the 3-yard line. Again, no timeouts for Ohio State. Dobbins in the backfield with Haskins. Haskins to throw. Gets rid of it quick. And it's caught! Touchdown, Benjamin Victor! The Buckeyes a point after away from tying the game with 40 seconds left. Dwayne Haskins' parents looking on as he throws his 3rd touchdown pass in his over 400 yards passing. His 4th 400-yard passing game. The extra point ties it at 45. Maryland will get the ball back with 1 timeout remaining.
Unbelievable poise by this Ohio State offense. Haskins recognizes all-out blitz, cover 0, one-on-one. On the outside with Victor. He throws the back shoulder in a perfect location. where his 6'4" wide receiver can climb over the top and make the play over the 5'10" corner. Urban Meyer loves it. What a drive by the Ohio State offense.
And Dwayne Haskins passes J.T. Barrett for the most passing touchdowns in a single season, 36. 3 today to go with 2 rushing touchdowns. This kid is a star who's only going to get better.
And fellas, credit to Mario McCall for the kickoff return that gets them past midfield. It gives them a chance considering they got no timeouts left.
Great call, Tom. That drive made a heck of a lot easier because of a great return by the Buckeye kickoff return unit.
And a short kickoff. Rashad Lewis, normally not the kickoff return man, does well though. Gets it past the 30-yard line out to the 32. You a little surprised we didn't see a deeper kick that time, knowing that Maryland can win the game with a field goal.
I am a little surprised. I wonder if he just got under it though, and it wasn't intentional. They've not kicked it real well today when it comes to their kickoff unit. Here they are, Maryland's offense with the chance now to secure potentially an opportunity to go to the postseason. Plenty of time, 36 seconds, only need 3, and you got a timeout in your hip pocket if you need it.
Pigram throws it deep. Receivers wide open, caught inside the 40. Jacobs. The clock will stop as they reset the chains at the 38-yard line. 28 seconds to go. Once the chains are set, they'll run the clock. It's a 30-yard pass play. They're not in field goal range yet. True freshman Joseph Petrino missed a 49-yarder earlier. Pigram gets hit by Jones, throws it deep and out of bounds. 15 seconds to go in regulation. True freshman Joseph Petrino, his only miss this season was in this game. He was 4 for 4 last week, 10 for 10 on the season coming in. You would think that they have to get to at least that point. He's made a 40-yarder this year. That's his long in the season. It was very windy when we started this game, but it's died down. Still one timeout for Maryland. Pigram in trouble. Ball comes out. Pigram covers it. Chase Young forced the fumble. Maryland's got to call its last timeout, and they do with 3 seconds to go. So really, it's going to come down now to a Hail Mary. Draymond Jones was trying to get to that loose ball after Chase Young forced the fumble of Pigram.
Man, Chase Young going with that same stunt that won the game against Penn State. He slides right behind his defensive tackle as they twist on that left side, and he forces the sack. Huge play by Chase Young and this Buckeye defensive front. They've played so much better in the second half, and in situations like this is where those defensive linemen have to be superstars and make it tough on the quarterback in an obvious passing situation.
Ohio State sends 3 men all the way to the goal line. And actually, for a moment there, the Buckeyes only had 10 defenders on the field. Pigram steps up, runs into his own man, gets away from a Buckeye, now in trouble, and gets sacked. And we're going to overtime. Draymond Jones on the takedown. Free college football. Maryland 45, 10th ranked Ohio State 45. Overtime is next from College Park.
Kevin Nagani in studio. West Virginia just scored a touchdown, up 7-0 at Oklahoma State. That game currently on ESPN News. Let's go back to Dave and Greg at College Park. Overtime, Ohio State, Maryland, guys.
Matt, Ohio State was down 17-3 in the first quarter and down 45-38 in the final minute, but tied the game Dwayne Haskins went to high school here in Maryland in front of his parents and family members.
Okay,
to
gentlemen,
Victor to tie
good
the game.
Overtime, extra periods. Each team will have an opportunity to possess the ball at the opponent's 25-yard line. You get one timeout per period. They do not carry over to the following period. The winner of the toss will have the choice to start on offense, start on defense, or you can choose the end of the field. Ohio State, you're the visitor. Same coin as before. Do you want heads or tails? He called heads. And it is a tail. Maryland, you won the toss.
We want to be on defense.
Maryland wins the toss. They choose to start on defense.
Ohio State now gets to pick which way they want to go. Let's take a look at what happened at the end of regulation. So, because it wasn't fourth down or on a try, it doesn't have to be the ball carrier that recovers a forward fumble, and that's why that play was legal, as Okonkwo recovered in the end zone for the Maryland touchdown. Haskins comes back, finds Victor for the score. There were also pass interference calls on the defense on both possessions that were questionable that allowed the drive to continue. Here are the overtime rules. Each team gets a possession until the winner is decided. And once you get to third overtime, if you score a touchdown, you have to go for two. Did Maryland make the right decision putting the defense on the field to start the game?
Absolutely. You know exactly what you have to have in order to either extend the game or win the game. So you obviously take defense first if you win the coin toss. My theory offensively has always been to be aggressive in the overtime period.
They're going to hand it off to Dobbins, his 38th carry of the day. He's inside the 20 and pushed out of bounds at the 16-yard line by Savage. So that's a 9-yard pickup on the first play of overtime.
What a workhorse he's been, guys. I don't know if Ohio State would be in this game without J.K. Dobbins.
Well, especially as you pointed out, Tom, to us, the injury to Mike Weber that's been undisclosed. 91 plays run by Ohio State to 61 by Maryland. 2nd and 1. Haskins throws to Dobbins. He can't come up with it. It would have been one-on-one over there had he pulled that ball in with a linebacker, Isaiah Davis, but he couldn't make the catch. 3rd down.
It was a good thought against all-out pressure from Maryland's defense. This particular spot, 3rd and 1, I got to give it to Dobbins. It's been so good for me today, especially in this part of the field. I got to give him a crack at it on 3rd and short.
Haskins has also done a good job running the ball. He hands it off. No, he keeps it after the fake, and it's going to be close. Boy, it looked like he gave it to Dobbins and then took it back. It is 4th down. He's short. Do you go for it, or do you trust your kicker?
I go for it. Absolutely, I go for it. I know that it's close, but you're an inch away, and the field goal might not help you. Given the way your defense has played today, especially against the run, field goal gives them every opportunity to potentially win it on the next possession. So
they're going.
I would go for it.
So do you give it to Dobbins again or quarterback keep?
I'd go Dobbins. He's been the workhorse all day.
Better hustle.
Play clock at 1. They got to call timeout. Remember, too, Blake Haubeil has been good, but he's not their normal kicker. Sean Nurnberger, senior, who's one in terms of scoring, is up there in the Big Ten. He's got the record for consecutive extra points and a decent field goal kicker, but he's hurt. Haubeil, though, as we said, he's been pretty good. Made a 47-yarder against Minnesota, 36-yarder today, and it would be about a 34-yard try from here if Urban Meyer changes his mind, but it doesn't look like he's going to do that.
Yeah, if I'm Urban Meyer, I'm sitting there thinking, all right, do I want number 7 with the game on the line, or do I want my kicker out there and settling for 3? I want Dwayne Haskins on the field. He's one of the best players in all of college football. And I want to give him a chance to make a play. Even though I would think at this part of the field, this far to gain, J.K. Dobbins would likely get the first crack at it.
4th down. It's going to be a pass, and it's caught by Berry inside the 10. Out of bounds at the 5. If it's J.T. Barrett in 2017, that's a quarterback run. In 2018, 4th down, in overtime, it's Haskins throwing the ball.
Just a great play call from Ryan Day. They go with a little spider 3. Run that little fullback tight end out into the flat. Really wasn't a very good throw from Haskins. He kind of steered it and guided it out there. A better throw might have been more yards and potentially even a touchdown.
1st and goal from the 5-yard line.
Maryland coaches screaming, pop pass, pop pass.
Haskins to throw, goes to Berry again. Inside the 2 and out of bounds at the 1. There is a penalty flag down. Thrown at the 8-yard line.
They might get the left guard, Malcolm Pridgeon. Here, he might have grabbed the
personal
face
foul.
mask.
Wow.
Face mask. Offense number 66. 15-yard penalty. Repeat 1st down.
That's going to put the ball back near the 20-yard line.
Huge play. But watch Pridgeon here. And watch as he's beaten around the right-hand side. That left arm gets up into the face mask of Tanyi and slows the momentum. That was a pretty obvious call, but a huge, huge penalty for this Buckeye offense, now sitting 1st and goal from the 20.
Empty backfield as Dobbins comes to the bottom of your screen, lined up wide. Haskins going to the end zone, overthrows the receiver, but a flag, interference, going to be called. Paris Campbell grabbed by Antoine Richardson.
Pass interference. Defense number 20. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
So it's back to 1st and goal from the 5.
Great job by Haskins recognizing one-on-one with Paris Campbell working against a safety. You got to take advantage of that if you're the quarterback. Haskins does just that.
Haskins keeps it, dives in, touchdown Buckeyes! He had 1 rushing touchdown all season. He's got 3 today, including here in overtime as he stretches out. You see the knee down, but it looked like the ball crossed the plane first. He's accounted for 6 touchdowns in his homecoming.
What a player. Just great effort. And a great read on the zone read
On the previous play was
to find some space.
Cross the plane of the goal line for a touchdown. The play's under further review.
Again, ruling on the field is touchdown, which means indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn it.
And let's see. Ball's across the plane right there. And you can see that right knee is, it's tough to tell where it's at, but it doesn't look like it's on the ground. And of course, with the call on the field being touchdown, has to be indisputable video evidence beyond all doubt to overturn that call on the field. And this one looks like it's going to be confirmed based on the angles that we've seen so far.
How about going back to the call, guys, on 4th down by Ryan Day and Urban Meyer to throw the ball there, to trust Dwayne Haskins to throw to Rashad Berry, who he hasn't caught a lot of passes, only 6. He's a former defensive end. But he was the target on that 4th down as they move the chains, and let's see if the touchdown
After
stands.
review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Aubiel on for the extra point. Talked about the man that he replaced. Nurnberger made 216 straight extra points. Aubiel No problem. 7-point lead for Ohio State.
They ran a play similar to this earlier. They're actually not blocking the end man on the line of scrimmage, and they are reading the end man on the line of scrimmage. He goes down, crashes, tackles J.K. Dobbins, makes the read pretty clear for Dwayne Haskins as he pulls that read and then just overpowers a couple Terrapin defenders en route to the end zone. What a performance from one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football.
And what Urban Meyer told us this week, at some point, Haskins has to be more effective as a runner. And we've seen that today. 14 rushes, 3 touchdowns for Haskins. So Maryland has to score a touchdown, obviously, to keep this game going. Fleet Davis is the running back on 1st and 10. McFarland on a jet sweep, inside the 20, to the 10, 5, and touchdown! What a day for Anthony McFarland! He's shaken up too. Let's see if he went down there. Is the knee down or is it still off the ground? 299 rushing yards of the day for McFarland.
The play is under further review.
Boy, it looked like just before their guys had hit. Right there.
Yeah, you can see that knee right there.
Yep.
It's that on the ground. It's really close.
If this holds up, guys, Matt Canada's going for 2. He wants to end this thing right here.
Wow.
I mean, I don't even know by physics how that knee doesn't go straight to the ground.
I think it does there, guys.
It looks like it grazes the grass. It really does. It's very close, though. Much closer than I originally thought.
Well, okay, you heard what Tom just said. Even if it's not a touchdown, they eventually score. He's going for 2. Do you like that decision to end the game here in the first overtime by going for 2?
I do.
I do too.
You can control it with one play. And your defense has not stopped Ohio State very often today. Ohio State's nearing 700 yards of offense. And their quarterback is elite.
Your kids have fought hard, too.
Yeah, I'd like to try to win it while that quarterback's still on the sideline. That's my thought process if I'm Matt Canada, the interim head coach for Maryland. I like the idea of going for 2 if, in fact, this is a touchdown.
After review, the runner's knee was down with the ball at the 1-yard line. It will be 1st and goal at the 1.
Keep it on the ground here, guys?
Absolutely. 100%. Last time this part of the field, they tried with a quarterback sneak, then they tried with the inside zone, their bread and butter play. They eventually got in with a little jet sweep to the left. I'd expect them to work probably in an order similar to that when it comes to their play sheet menu at this point.
Take a look at the front alignment for Ohio State.
They're prepared for anything running between the tackles.
They spread it out, though. 1st and goal on the 1. Fleet Davis is in. Touchdown, Maryland. And the Terrapins are going for the win.
He wants it on the left hash, guys.
Boy, I don't know. He might be short there. Ruling in the field a touchdown, but where that knee went down, the ball's in his left hand. The ball, I don't know that it crossed the plane there, guys.
Yeah, I think he might be just a little bit short. After looking at it again, that was an unbelievable play by Tuf Borland.
But they haven't stopped the clock just yet. Now they do. They're going to stop the clock. They haven't stopped Maryland from snapping the ball, but looks like they're going to look at this further, or no. They're not. It's a touchdown. Here we go. Going for 2 in the win. Pigram rolling out. Looking. Throws. No! Incomplete! Ohio State survives! Their Big Ten title hopes and college football playoff hopes hanging in the balance on one play, and Pigrome couldn't hit Jay-Sean Jones, and Ohio State will play for the Big Ten East title in Columbus against Michigan next Saturday. Wow.
They try to go with a little sprint right, and he actually has the option to go with a little shovel pass underneath, or if he sees disappearance at the second level, he can throw to one of his wide receivers whose feet are in the end zone. He's thinking that Jones is going to slide to his left, and he doesn't. They are not on the same page, and the ball falls incomplete. Absolute unbelievable game between these two teams. Agony on the side of Maryland.
Let's go to Tom and Urban Meyer.
Coach, it wasn't how you drew it up, but how would you assess the performance of your kids to close out this game?
I mean, that was a street fight, and all due respect to our opponent, they've been through a lot, and my gosh, it just kept back and forth, and very proud of our guys. Just keep swinging.
How proud are you of running back J.K. Dobbins just for his effort today?
And the O-line, I mean, they were exhausted, and you get the ball back with a minute and change and no timeouts and have to drive length of the field. And really, DeMario set that up with the kickoff return.
Just watching you on the sideline, very, very emotional, very energetic. How are you feeling after all of this today?
I'm feeling just a W, and I'm glad Buckeye Nation's here to support us. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Ohio State improves to 10-1. Their 7th consecutive 10-win season. 7-1 in the Big Ten. It will come down to the game. Michigan, Ohio State next week to go to the Big Ten title game.